that said, "Kill." I had no other choice, it was left except kill. A pencil full of poison led to death. He wants me to murder this beat, so I will. He told me there were doubters who question my skill. They want to put us down to the test, am I still? The best they want the crown on my head, I said, chill. If you want me to murder this beat, then I will. Slaughter goons under the moonlight. John Wilkes, that's who I'm in the booth like. Hey, bro, I go ham for dead presidents, and everything I record is over your head like a boom mic. Why would you irrelevant fucks wanna rebel against us? Knowing you're spitting Weston has never been clutched, knowing you've never been brushed by the most ignorant niggas in fame. The nigga gotta send you to the dentist to get a whole row of elephant tusk. Your teeth gone like you've been on some meth and some dust forever. I see you, my niggas call me the enemy watcher. The minute we spot you, they send me your pop, nigga, we got you. I'm living the conquer, remember the mantra. I'm ripping the launcher like him and the doctor with no guilty conscience. I'm still shocking like dropping a boombox in bathwater, more shocking than a
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. We are here for the second edition of NUW Slaughterhouse review episode. There we go. Get rid of that. Quite a week, a little over a week it's been for NUW. We've seen last week's UpShot and then, of course, last night's NUW Slaughterhouse, which we'll dive into both here in just a few moments. I'm, of course, Tony, your host here. Co-host apparently running a little late. That's okay. We'll get into it. Let's start off talking about UpShot, episode 28, after the Slaughterhouse 28 that we seen a couple weeks ago. UpShot had its premiere. It was a bit different than what we were used to. Had a couple matches on it. Had a bunch of promos. That part wasn't new, the promo part. It started off with Johnny Reed in the woods, wondering why he was summoned there pretty much as the, forget to mention, Continental Champion Johnny Reed. It's in the woods, and he gets confronted by the man who had him show up there. That being the owner of NUW, the undisputed champion, Devon McDonald, who had mentioned how he hasn't forgotten that Johnny Reed did defeat him last season, if you will, and has decided that Johnny Reed's going to defend the Continental Championship at Fight for Freedom 2. Nothing new there. Had to figure that would happen. However, the big news was, for the first time in NUW history, Johnny Reed will be defending that championship in a championship scramble match. Now, if you guys haven't seen a scramble match, I'm assuming that it'll probably be a lot like the ones that WWE used, where it'll be a set amount of time that this match will take place. I could be wrong here. They can correct me at some point, but being joined here. We'll get into it in a second. By whom? Hi there. How you doing today?
Here we go. I've come up with a new name, and I've got a new profile picture. I figured out the ducks.
Yeah. That's good. I see we got Navon Pay Me Please here.
Oh, yes, because I've been looking. I got a Twitter alert, and you know what? I think I have to respond to it now. Said it, enjoy your show, but y'all better come correct. Well, make sure you're watching, Devon. That's all I got to say. The name speaks for itself.
And it does. And it does. That's just diving into the UpShot from last week. Johnny Reed and Devon, little promo they had in the woods, announcing the championship scramble match. I'm assuming it'll probably be like what we've seen in WWE several years ago. X amount of time on the clock. Whoever gets the final pinfall or submission will be the champion at the end of that match. What did you think of the news from Devon that Johnny Reed was going to be in this first ever match in NUW at Fight for Freedom 2?
Well, knowing NUW how they do things, see, a scramble match is probably going to be unlike WWE. They're probably going to slaughterhouse the shit up.
Yeah.
All right, they're going to up the ante. And with Johnny Reed, Navon just hasn't let that go. What happened last year, he beat Navon. As you could see later on in the UpShot, you could see what happened. What this all led to for Johnny. And Navon is still pretty irritated. And the Woods of all places, Navon takes him. And we'll get into where that goes.
Yeah.
Because that has a lot of meaning, more than anything else.
Yes. We'll get into that a little more when we get into the Slaughterhouse episode. We heard from a lot of people in that UpShot episode. I've heard from Chris Lytle, of course, the number one contender for the Undisputed Championship. Had words. I want to go a little bit into this from the new New York champion, Brandon Castelli, mentioning new year, new me, except for him, it's new year, same me. And how he's supposedly the greatest New York champion of all time, even though he's not from New York. What is this guy smoking or drinking or whatever? Because he's just starting this championship reign. How can he say he's the greatest of all time?
Well, all I could say to that is, Alan Reed, you better pull the cotton out of your ears, because he's speaking on your name right now when he says that he is the greatest New York champion, knowing damn well you were the inaugural, the man he sort of took it from. It wasn't even you that got pinned to lose it. It was a fatal 4-way. So he's not putting respect on your fucking name, to quote Birdman himself.
Most definitely.
So you might be one of those people that has to figure out a way to get booked on the card and take that back. Get your rematch, find something, find your way. Because as I know, based off the Slaughterhouse episodes, we have not seen Alan Reed compete since Halloween Hell 3.
True.
And he's kind of been lost. Trying to help out his brother when he should really be focusing on getting back his gold.
Right.
His fucking comeback trophy right there.
Yeah. We'll get into more on Brandon in a little bit too.
Oh, shit.
Because he had more to say during Slaughterhouse. So we would move on from him to the dark side, who was by quite the instrument, if that's what you want to call it. Quite the machine, talking about Yankee and how he thinks that machine or bulldozer, whatever you want to call it, would be about the only thing that could pick up Yankee. Also mentioning how anybody who screwed him in the past was going to be pretty much in a lot of trouble this season on NUW. I wouldn't want to be any of those people that have wronged the dark side. I don't know about you.
That's a long list of people that's wronged the dark side, if you think about it. He's not really friendly to a lot of the NUW roster, as if you couldn't tell over the past couple years.
Yeah. I mean, we did see what he did to Ragul last week, or a couple weeks ago. So.
Yeah, poor Rob Killa.
Yeah.
The man died, not the character. The man died. Train tracks. But the feds don't need to know about that, so we're hush hush.
Yep, I don't know nothing.
We're worried about the coronavirus, and we're not worried about this.
Right. We're not even going to talk about that too much, but yeah. We go from the dark side with his, I don't know if you want to call them threats, promises, whatever, into Jay Genocide, who is trying, it seems like, to make a name for himself, but yet also trying to make the point that he has made somewhat of a name for himself in previous companies. To me, those previous companies that he's worked for don't mean shit compared to what he's doing here in NUW. No offense to those previous companies, but he's got to make a name for himself here in NUW to matter to anybody, in my opinion. And just one little win a couple weeks ago on Slaughterhouse isn't going to be a huge dent or a move forward for him, in my opinion.
I agree with you, but I see where he's coming from, because it was me, as a matter of fact, that might have just sparked a little something in him. Probably incited a little bit of a fire in his ass And that's all you need this season. I want to see what he can do. I want to see what he can do on Newberg's Slaughterhouse. I want to see what he can do. Prove me wrong, damn it.
Right? We would go from his promo to PJC with Mickey Mouse. Quite the interesting promo he was having back and forth with.
It was not Mickey Mouse. It was not Mickey Mouse, as a matter of fact.
Mickey the Mouse, who's Mickey Xylophone Hippo or something like that.
I think it was Mickey Pikachu. That's the last time I checked. But PJC, someone needs to find their mans and pick him up because PJC, why did you? No comment.
He would go on to find Chris McNipples and have his little promo and always, of course, end it with, he's PJC, he's got the muscle. Nonetheless. We would then go to Caleb Cross, who we haven't seen in quite a while in NUW, dropping a bunch of F-bombs. Pretty much what I took away from it, claiming that he's going to be a different person and he's going to be taking names and cutting people's throats with this knife that he had in his hand, pretty much is what I caught from it. But we'll get into more on Caleb Cross when we get into the Slaughterhouse episode.
I have one thing to say. Only one with Caleb Cross. I mentioned it in the live chat as I saw it. But now it kind of rings more true. He was talking about how he's not the fat fuck that everybody thinks he is. And then how is it so timing that I mentioned Scott Steiner and then Scott Steiner collapses at an Impact taping like the next day? That's tough.
Sure.
Caleb Cross cost almost a death in Scott Steiner, damn it.
Yeah. Moving along from that, we would see our first action on UpShot as the Pizza Man would go one-on-one with the new New York champion, Brandon Castelli, for that New York title. Of course, if Brandon wins, he'd also get a free pizza. We see that pizza come into play.
It was cheese.
Yes. And we would see that pizza come into play as it normally does in the Pizza Man's matches. It was a decent first match for Brandon Castelli as a New York champion. Of course, Brandon retained his title. Anything you had to take away from that match?
Well, it was the first title defense of the season. I gave him shit for not even defending or even wrestling or even showing up on the first return episode. So you know what, Brandon? You earn my respect on that. But here's the thing about the Pizza Man. See, this man's not a slouch. This man has gotten wins in UWE.
Yeah, true.
Against a certain someone who would probably hope to forget.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
But here's the thing about the Pizza Man. I have not confirmed or denied inside knowledge whether the pizza comes with the Mike Perillo's grandmother sauce or not. That's the important part of how the Pizza Man could have won this matchup.
True. Could have been.
But unfortunately, he couldn't do it. He couldn't make his name.
Nope. Yeah.
Now Brandon Castelli proved himself right.
That he did. I will mention who three are. I was impressed, very impressed by three specific promos on this UpShot, and I'll mention it at the end of this before we jump into Slaughterhouse. But up next, we would get I put down unique, but I'm not sure that's exactly what I want to put from it. But Everett Creed would then give us some words. What was your opinion of this promo interview, his 15, whatever you want to call it? It almost seemed like, I'm not sure if somebody was hacking into it or if he did this on purpose or what, but it was quite interesting, I thought.
Well, Everett Creed is the god of the underground. He can pretty much make his power known in each section of the underground, whether it is in Long Island or if it is in Newburgh or if it is in Lake Coran or whatever the fuck it was called or any of the other ones. Trust me, there's a lot of them. I'm not familiar, but here's the thing. This Everett Creed promo, this man is getting his first, well, I guess you could say uncensored look into the underground world of NUW for the first time since about 2018, late 2018, and this one, last time we saw him before his return at the Backyard Rumble 3, this is where you get the vibe from. And here's one word to describe it: reality. That's exactly what it reminds me of.
True.
And Everett Creed, he looked alive in this promo. In case you haven't noticed, this man, he looks more rejuvenated than any of his past work.
I would agree with that.
He doesn't look like he's in it for making himself the star. He looks like he's ready to make this his world.
Yes, I would agree. I was going to say he looks more determined, I guess is one word you could say, than what we've seen in even towards the end of what we've seen in UWE, which supposedly, according to their Facebook page, isn't completely over, but we'll see because we haven't seen any content from them in, a year or so now. But
Everett kind of did bring it up in his promo. He did bring up the fact that it is his world and he can make the entire world his bitch and he can do whatever he wants to crumble it.
Sure.
So don't count out Everett Creed, the man who is known for endgames.
Also true. Nonetheless, we would then move on to, we would see a couple of video packages. One, of course, Fight for Freedom 2 video package. Gee, I wonder who created that.
I have no fucking idea. That dude, I don't know. He did things.
He did very good things. Then after that, we would see some past hardcore moments that have happened in NUW as it was announced that the Hardcore Championship, of course, will be returning at Fight for Freedom 2.
Yes, indeed. Get some flashback moments right there.
Yes, some very good flashback moments. Some kind of reminds you of some things you might have forgotten, even though NUW Slaughterhouse hasn't been around too much more than a year, but still a lot of hardcore things have happened, even though we went quite a while without seeing that hardcore title. We would go on to the Brothers Creed would talk more about the message, at least, that they got from, of course, Samael and Casey James. Oh, wait. I'm not going to say much about that because we'll get into more of the Brothers Creed later. And this promo kind of felt similar to what they were saying at Slaughterhouse, really, to me. Wasn't much different. We would move on to Drew Magic, who was getting his first time to really speak from the BWE retirement home. He didn't really say a whole lot. PJC was involved.
Man, that retirement home was so depressing. I felt so bad. I was like, well, fuck.
Right?
They're treating him like this. God damn.
Yeah.
This man earned his keep and they're just letting him rot.
Yep. That's what it seemed like. I mean, he claims that he couldn't hardly move after his matches, but he hoped that didn't affect anything going forward and that he'd be back in the Slaughterhouse soon.
The only thing I can recommend to that is some DDP yoga.
There you go. We would move on to an interesting promo from the Balance of Chaos, Ustalo and Revan, who Revan wants to try and remind everybody / make sure everybody knows who he is, I guess, and make sure that he's got a name for himself. It almost seemed like in that promo. The gist of that promo to me was they're just saying, this is the year of the Balance of Chaos, which they've said before. We'll see if that actually happens this time around.
Yeah, I'm with it still, but come on, man. You gotta actually bring it this time. Not say you're gonna do it. Bring it.
Right. Because they've gotten plenty of opportunities in the past in NUW and they haven't been able to succeed. So the Heretics have always put them in their place. Of course, the Heretics no longer are the tag team champions, but still, you got to succeed somewhere. We'd move into the Corey Graves promo that he was pretty impassionate in that promo. You could tell he was coming from a specific place, in my opinion, and he's showing that he's got a lot to prove still, even though he was at the top of the mountain, so to speak, for APW. That was way back when, but he's still got something he wants to prove here in NUW as well.
Well, the only thing I can say about that was the promo of the UpShot for me personally. Because Corey Graves, even though people can give him shit for his, how do I say this, his Altoona accent, as people say he goes over. But no, see, here's the thing. Corey Graves in this promo, to me, he was playing with heartstrings right there. He mentioned the fact this is a guy that he's known since Best in the Yard 1 in 2015, and everything that Everett Creed has done since then, to him, to APW, to Jason Walker, oops, I said him, all that to shatter his orbital bone at the Backyard Rumble 3 after just a simple elimination, or even the Best in the Yard 2, like how Everett treated him afterwards, that's not right. And Corey, he definitely shown his passion. If Everett Creed wasn't alive in his promo, then Corey Graves definitely was. He seemed more motivated to be in that moment than probably any other time in Backyard Wrestling since he's come back.
I would have to agree with that. Like I said, I just feel like he's got something to prove to Everett Creed first, and then he also wants to prove that he can still be a top guy in NUW, not just be somebody to look past. We would move from that into the tribute video for the short-lived Steven Adams, of course.
Dear God, I literally called that shit on this very show. I called it was going to happen. We needed a tribute, and we got it. And it plucked at heartstrings, too. I still haven't gotten an invite to the funeral. It's not right.
No, it's not. Where's that invite?
Damn.
So we'd have one more promo, which we'll get into because that ended the show, which, not surprisingly, he'd been doing that. But first, we'd go into the main event match on UpShot. As we'd see Ustalo by himself. I don't know why he was by himself when his opponent had somebody in his corner, but nonetheless. Go up against Owen Divine with Matt Bradley in his corner. I mentioned in the live stream that could anybody please tell me when this man, Owen Divine, has last gotten a win in NUW? And of course, NUW would respond, well, we'd have to go way back before we could find something to that. But yeah, the main point of that being Owen Divine, I believe, has never won a match in NUW. Well, until now.
See, Tony, you just weren't fair about that point. Oh, come on. You just had to bring it up. Owen Divine has been busting his ass when he does show up, okay? He was there at the last Fight for Freedom last time I checked. And, well, he didn't win, but come on, man. You just had to put the man down like that. And you say, and I was the one getting heat. Damn.
Well,
you mentioned the fact that this man hasn't won ever.
It had to be brought up. I mean, they're asking for predictions for the show.
I mean, you made him look like shit. Well, Midnight Moon has more of a win-loss record than he does. Or Matt, now he's probably tied. Oh, man.
But nonetheless, he proved me wrong, I guess you could say. As even with a little bit of help from some brass knuckles that were slid into him from Matt Bradley, Owen Divine did pick up his first victory, and he did defeat Ustalo.
I called that one. I was the only person to ever call that.
Yeah, I don't
think it ain't cheating if it's not trying, all right?
True.
Owen Divine, he just needed to win. Ustalo didn't even have to win that one as bad as Owen Divine did. Especially when everybody in the chat is talking shit, saying he can't win.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody ringside probably sent him the live chat, and he was like, well, fuck. All right, I got this. Brass knuckle. And Ustalo just went down.
Yeah, that he did, like a pile of rocks. Kudos to him. Little William Regal tribute, I guess you could say there. Big win for Owen Divine. Let's see if he can take that momentum anywhere in this final season of NUW. We would then, of course, go to the owner again, the undisputed champion, Devon McDonald, in his car, reminiscing about his last year. Bringing up the facts that he's lost to Johnny Reed, bringing up the fact that he lost to a sleeping Zach Cobalt, bringing up that he lost in the first round of the King of the Yard again to the Blaze, Also mentioning how the dark side managed to take ownership away from him of NUW. Am I missing anything there?
Oh, knowing Navon, yeah, you probably missed a lot. He'll be in the DM right now, be like, "You motherfucker, you forgot when I lost my company, damn it."
I mentioned that.
Well, you didn't mention the fact he got drugged. That was
Yeah.
traumatizing for him.
Yes. And of course, it was mentioned in the live stream, he's taking credit for everything that's happened over the last year. But, I mean, I'm surprised he actually mentioned the fact that he got beat by a sleeping Zach Cobalt, for that matter. How do you live that one down? No?
Well, he was blaming everything on the dark side's ownership. But one of them, Johnny Reed, he booked that match last time I checked. So it's his own fault, but he forgets.
That is true. He doesn't forget anything, or at least that's what he wants you to believe. We'll get into that a little more later. But
Navon is just, I think a little couple of them cookies just rushed up to the head of his.
Yeah, probably. So yeah,
and Mike Perillo drenching him in sauce, and dear God, what did he? You just see the flashback of the UpShot after Fight for Freedom, the first one.
Yes.
And what does Navon have to say to the man's grandma?
Very unacceptable.
How could you forget that? That's the fucking one thing that got me dead. Because I know Mike Perillo was not happy.
I can't imagine Mike Perillo was happy hearing what Navon had to say. Telling his grandma to shut his mouth before he put something in it. Very inappropriate. But nonetheless, that's Navon for you, I guess.
I mean, shit. Navon has done so many things to women, and we'll get back into that later.
Yes, we will. That was the end of the UpShot episode. In my opinion, like you said, Corey Graves' promo really stuck out. Everett Creed's promo and Navon's kind of promo there at the end were the three that really stuck out the most to me. But yeah, that was the end of that UpShot video. Were you surprised by anything that happened during that UpShot other than the fact that Owen Divine picked up his first win?
Well, that didn't shock me. I was the only one that thought he was. I wasn't joking. Yeah. I knew Owen Divine. He had to just break away from that slump. It's taken him forever, but he's done it. A man with two hands is a fighting chance. All right? This man, he was able to do it. He was able to pick up his victory. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And as for the UpShot, anything else I have to say about it? I mean, Navon did make one innuendo that led into this slaughterhouse when he said he wants to see all of Vivica Jones, and he invited her to his slaughterhouse. Why? Shit. That ain't PG, but fuck it.
Right? I was going to mention that too as we were heading in. Couldn't forget about him talking to Vivica. Exactly, which he would do more of that here on Slaughterhouse, which we'll dive into at the end because that's when it happened. Let's jump into Slaughterhouse, though. We would kick off with Mike Perillo coming out to start this triple threat match to kick off Slaughterhouse episode 29 against Joseph Anthony and Everett Creed. The match starts out with Joseph Anthony and Everett Creed both doing what heels normally would do in a triple threat match, sliding to the outside, thinking the other two guys would compete in the ring while he's trying to save himself, I guess, for the right moment to jive back in. That didn't happen quite that way, but we did see them two eventually go back in the ring, and after Mike Perillo came out of the ring to tell him, hey, let's take this back into the ring and get some action going, they would go back in the ring, they would take their advantage over Mike Perillo for a little bit, but this was a back and forth match between these three guys. Early on in the match, though, I want to bring this up because it would come around towards the end of the match as well. Everett Creed would take a low blow from Joseph Anthony, which at the end of the match, we would see that come back to bite Joseph Anthony as he would hit the chemical reaction or whatever you want to call it.
Reality check.
Then get low blow. Oh, yes. I was going to say reality check, but chemical reaction is what even Johnny Johnson calls it still. Reality check, gets low blow by Everett Creed. Everett Creed picks up the win. any specific things that you took from that match? Very good triple threat match between these three guys, in my opinion. Beforehand wasn't something I knew I wanted to see, but it was something I was happy to see.
Well, with it being the first announced match and the impromptu opening matchup of this Slaughterhouse episode, I was looking forward to it. I can say that, Mike Perillo, he was doing his thing. Joseph Anthony, which I will mention, I like his new entrance video he got. People don't pay attention to them little things, but I think the fact that he was performing Young, Dumb, and Broke at a local company called CZW for, shout out plug. We don't know him. Or don't know them. Shh. All right. And then Everett Creed. He did his thing. And it wasn't just healing at the beginning of the match. No. See, Everett was feeling it was his thing, despite the fact Joseph Anthony's been there longer. And then Mike Perillo, he's just standing in the ring. He wanted to actually wrestle. But then, as Joseph and Everett are arguing, Mike Perillo just gets in between them and says, "Can't we just start this off?" That stood out to me. That stood out. And, as the match went along, it was back and forth, as you said. It was a good match. But here's the thing. It's not sitting well with me. Everett just low-blowed the man and took his pinfall. That's twice in a row for Joseph Anthony now. Joseph Anthony.
Yeah, poor Joe.
Joseph, he's getting the work done, but other people are taking his opportunities. That's the problem here. Joseph Anthony, when's the last time he's picked up a victory?
Good question.
It's been ages. Oh, probably Taika Mikado.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Taika Mikado in that hair versus mask match was his last win.
But damn it, Joseph. You just got low-blowed by Everett Creed. He didn't even have to pop you with a nightshade or lock you in the Genesis device or hit you with the end game. He just low-blows you. And he threw your shit out. And he pins the sauce. Yep. Everett Creed is looking forward to Fight for Freedom 2. As Corey Graves, he was probably watching very closely.
Oh, I'm sure. One spot that did stick out to me was everybody got a spine buster in there as well. So, as that would be kind of a theme of this show. But
yeah, we'll get into that in the main event.
Yeah. Of course, after the match, Everett Creed couldn't just be happy with the victory. He would have to lock in the Genesis device on Mike Perillo, saying that it was pretty much his time. But not exactly those words, but still. Everett Creed trying to prove more of a point, I suppose, after the match. We would go then to Zach Cobalt by a little kid swimming pool, pretty much, and he would get confronted by Chris Mula briefly. What did you take away from those two's little conversation there, first of all, and then we'll get into Navan coming into the picture as well.
Okay. All I got to say about that. Why can't anybody just leave Zach Cobalt alone? He's trying to sleep. He's trying to fill up his swimming pool. He can't get a break ever. I mean, he's beating Navan in his sleep. Can somebody just leave him alone? Can't they just leave him alone once in his life? He was just minding his own business. It doesn't matter if he was on somebody else's property just setting up a pool. It doesn't matter. Does it honestly matter in NUW what happens in that yard besides don't go in the fucking planners? Come on.
Right?
Chris Mula just throws a stack at him like he's one of these Cardi B strippers. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Cobalt just got
mentioned. As I mentioned, of course. Yes, that seems to be a trend with Cobalt, unfortunately, in NUW. Other than the fact that he had two quick victories in in King of the Yard, two rather. But nonetheless, Navan would come into the picture, and we would get made another match for Fight for Freedom 2, as it will be Zach Cobalt one-on-one with Chris Mula. I'm not sure if those two men have ever faced off before, because I know they're both have competed in other companies, but it'll be their first time in the Slaughterhouse or in NUW as far as I can remember. And I think it'll probably be a pretty good match between those two.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy to sleep on this match. I feel like they're going to pull out something. Because last time Chris Moolah was in the Slaughterhouse, he pulled out something out of the ordinary against Navon. And man was doing moonsaults, all this. Yeah. And Chris Moolah even had a matchup later on in this edition of Slaughterhouse.
And he did.
So he had his own thing to attend to, while Zach Cobalt, I don't know if he ever got his pool set up, but shit.
I don't know either, because we wouldn't see no more of him. Of course, Navon couldn't forget about Cobalt beating him in his sleep either. So
yeah, so much of Navon's vendetta came out since the return of NUW.
That's true. So then we would go on to another promo from the New York champion, Brandon Castelli, who, if I remember correctly, it was this one, not on UpShot. He claimed that he beat Alan Reed in that match to win the New York Championship, which, as you mentioned earlier, was not the case. It wasn't Brandon didn't pin Alan Reed to win the match. But nonetheless, Brandon, of course, still saying he's pretty much wanting to be a fighting champion and wants to defend that title, and is asking NUW for more opportunities to defend that title.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly if he did pin Alan Reed or not. I feel like he didn't, but
yeah, I don't think he did.
I could be wrong, because I remember Joseph Anthony hit that reality check, and Brandon Castelli threw him out of the ring, and he pinned somebody. I forget who the fuck. But either way, Alan Reed is still the first ever champion, Brandon. Don't let your head get too inflated, because last time I checked, Alan Reed is not a person to be messed with since his return.
Sure.
If you're going to sleep on him, you're going to be sleeping as he power bombs your ass through the ring. That's all that's going to happen.
Yep.
Because you think you're going to be the champion until the end of NUW. And then not even just that, though. He thinks he's going to be defending it after NUW. He's going to be defending it into the next millennium and the thing after the millennium, whatever that's called.
Yes.
That part stuck out to me.
That was an interesting part, for sure, in there. We'll see. I personally want to see less of him talking and claiming that he's such a great champion, and more of him actually doing that, defending that championship, being in that ring with, no offense to the Pizza Man, but more of a challenge, so as to speak, to see him go against somebody that has more credibility, if you will, in the Slaughterhouse. And then if he can beat some of those top tier guys, then maybe I'll agree with him about being perhaps the greatest New York champion of all time. But he's got a long ways to go before I would agree with that, personally. Moving along, though, we would go on to Scorpion the Assassin sitting in his car. He's outside of the UWE, or UWF, rather, arena, pretty much, it looked like, and waiting for the gamer to come out so they could head towards the Slaughterhouse. But the gamer wasn't coming out, and Scorpion would go into there. We hear some noise as the door shuts behind him. The door opens. We see the Brothers Creed laid out. Now, however, we never seen by whom. We can all make our assumptions as to whom did it. Of course, the Heretics would be the first on the list, but...
Well, the thing about that is all I saw was a baseball bat. Now, there is somebody in NUW with a baseball bat that has been helping out the Heretics. He has some connections to them. So it might not have been them. So we're not going to point the finger of blame like the first time around. That's just me, though.
First time around, the Heretics were blamed, and they actually didn't end up being the ones that did the deed, so as to speak. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from there with that whole storyline anyway. As the tag team champs were laid out by whomever. An interesting point of that was the cameraman was trying to get in there and see what was going on, and the door was slammed pretty much in his face as well to end that one. But we'd move on to a debuting Logan from WCF, as we've been seeing a lot of guys from WCF here in NUW lately. Go up against Clark Williams, who wasn't by himself. He had, of course, Powers Investment members with him. Surprisingly, they didn't really get that much involved in this match. I was expecting for them to get a little involved, distract the ref more or something. But these two big guys put on quite the battle for a little while here. What was your take on the match? Of course, we would see these two get embroiled into a little bit of a battle outside the ring, which ended up leading to their double count-out draw to end the match.
These two big men were just throwing everything they had at each other, and neither one of them was able to score the victory over one another. There was no decision that favored in either man's favor because these two men, they just got a double count out, and Powers Investment carried their man out. And I don't think that's the last you'll see of these two one-on-one.
Probably not.
Or maybe they won't face off one-on-one, but they'll see each other down the road. I'm feeling it.
True. And they did show a little bit of respect after the match, too, shook each other's hands. But it was a decent match for what it was, what we were given from them. Pretty much all I'm going to say about that one. We would then go to JJ the Pitbull Cordero arriving home just off of work or something. And as he goes into the bathroom, he is surprised and jumped from the side, from behind, whichever you want to call it, by, of course, the Dark Side. What didn't the Dark Side do in this assault here? I'll let you go over what all we've seen there.
Well, I can put on my Broadway act right now. JJ the Pitbull Cordero was checking everything. He's checking everything in his home out. He's like, all right, cool. Just chill in the front hall. All right, let's go to the bathroom. I got to take a piss. All right. Then, as he looks in the mirror, just checking himself out, he's like, I got some hair. That's cool. That's pretty lit. And then the Dark Side, from behind, just stares him down, stares a hole into his soul. And, well, shit just went haywire. That's the best way to describe it. Eggs got cracked over a man's skull. Jelly was poured onto him. Shaving cream. That shit got all mixed up with Darkseid's hands that were probably filthy from the blood off of Ragul. There was cotton thrown on him. Shit, what else was there? Was there... What else?
Tied to the radiator or whatever it was there.
He got duct taped to his hands behind his back, and well, he was told he looked like a poodle. And off the top of my head, I don't know what else he did besides just make a fucking mess all over the house. And you know what? That's what poodles are known for. They leave messes everywhere.
Of course, the Dark.
And the Dark Side pulled out JJ the Pitbull Cordero's phone. He made a very special call to the Animal Resources. They said, "Hey, we got a poodle. We got something for you to carry. Bring a cage, because I got something for you."
Yep. He's gonna definitely need to be thrown in it. This was definitely quite different than his attack on Ragul, but I think Darkseid's kind of getting his point across here. Might be kind of criminal, but
I mean, he stuck to his promise. He said anybody who's fucked with him, he was going to make their life hell. I did not think he was going to pour jelly on the man. I was actually expecting him to throw coffee at one point. Just pour some coffee on him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he shit in that man's toilet, threw away the bleach, used his laundry detergent, made himself a sandwich, and left. And took his phone with him, resold it, and bought himself some more gear. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot between these two guys, the Dark Side and the Pitbull, over the years. I mean, their history dates before even the two of them showed up in NUW, but this was definitely something wild and different from what we've seen these two go through before.
Hey, didn't I tell you last time? I told you the second those two interact, they're going to beat the living fuck out of each other. This was pretty one-sided, but it happened.
Right.
No sync needed. The only sync that was involved was the start of it.
Right.
And next time, I would not be washing your face or checking yourself on the mirror, JJ. I would not.
Yeah. I think for anybody else who has wronged the Dark Side in NUW,
It's your ass.
Yeah. Gets their ass goodbye. But they may want to tread lightly and check all corners of everywhere, even their house, to make sure the Dark Side's not hiding out on them. But we would go from that assault, if you will, to perhaps one of the best interactions, in my opinion, on this show, as we would go to the Continental Champion Johnny Reed back in those same woods we seen him in UpShot, searching for, hunting for, if you will, and finding eventually the Butcher of the Slaughterhouse, Shadow Grim, who had half his face painted, which was a little different than what we're used to seeing. Quite the interesting back and forth these two men had. Shadow Grim would mention the fact that the last time these two men faced one-on-one, Shadow Grim was the one that, of course, walked out victorious. Johnny Reed would say he wished that this, instead of the scramble match, would be them two one-on-one again, and that the outcome would be different, that he would be the one to take the victory. What was your biggest takeaway from these two's interaction?
Well, when it comes to this Slaughterhouse episode, you just see Shadow Grim making his first appearance since, well, Navon laid him out at Halloween Hell 3 during the celebration of his title victory. And I think as soon as he saw Johnny Reed, he was not in the best mood. He's still not in a good mood. And you could just see on his face, not just a half face paint, but you could just tell in the way he was talking, what he was saying, his body language. You could just tell that's a crazy motherfucking Puerto Rican motherfucker right there. And he is ready to take out anybody in his path.
Now, you definitely can't blame him for feeling the way he does. I mean, Navon did say when he was talking with Johnny Reed on UpShot that he was sending Shadow Grim down to the Continental Championship race, and that Shadow Grim wouldn't be getting a undisputed championship match anytime in the near future again. So I'm sure that had to play a little bit in Shadow Grim's mind, as well as when you're in this business, you got to be going after your main goal is for the world championship, or the undisputed championship in this case. So that has to play a little bit into it. But if he can win that Continental Championship, then that's got to be a little bit of a boost for him.
I don't think the undisputed championship, the title itself, is on his mind as much as everything in the whole Slaughterhouse is. Because with him, it's kind of how Navon acts when he is put into a state of mind known as the last emotion. I think Shadow Grim is starting to feel at least some of those tendencies, because he's just that motivated, that focused, that serious, that sinister right now, that he is willing to take out anybody, whether it's a title or if it's not. Right. I think that's his main focus, is revenge.
Yeah. Off of what these two men had for an interaction, I almost wouldn't want to be anybody else that's going to end up being in that championship scramble match, because these two guys are going to be laser focused on each other, I feel like. But if anybody gets in their way, well, they might wish they didn't.
Yeah, it's a 7-man championship scramble match, I believe.
That what we confirmed? I almost thought I heard at 1.5 or 6, but
I thought I heard 7, but
it could be. I don't know. Divine never really said specifically how many people, but
at one point I heard 7. At one point Devon didn't specify, and then at one point it's like, well, shit. Once Johnny Reed and Shadowgram get involved, it's like, well, shit. The other men don't matter.
yeah, pretty much.
You thought the Halloween Hell 3 main event was chaotic. Just see what they do to each other.
Yeah, I'm sure this championship scramble is going to be very chaotic. As will, of course, that hardcore match that we'll see for the hardcore title as well. But we'll get into that more later. We would move on to Chris Mula having his first match in this season of Slaughterhouse against the returning Caleb Cross. I'll say this much about this match. It was a good match between these two men. I thought Caleb Cross had one of his better performances in NUW, in my opinion. However, for him, it wasn't enough. So, his threats, his whatever you want to call them, from UpShot didn't mean shit pretty much in the end because he came out the loser yet again here in this match. What was your biggest takeaway from the match between Mula and Cross?
Well, Chris Mula, he's really establishing himself in the Slaughterhouse eyes because he was pretty much doing a lot of what he did to Navon the last time he was here. Like, he was doing the moonsault, made the fucking referee jump like 25 feet when he saw that. He was like, oh, fuck, I just saw that. And Caleb Cross, here's my thing with Caleb Cross. See, I didn't bring it up in the UpShot review, but I'm going to bring it up right now. See, Caleb, to make your statement, the one that you want to make, it's not killing Scott Steiner by losing some weight. Okay? It's not that, although that would probably make you really over. But no, it's not even tearing Kevin Nash's quad. Here's the thing. You've been losing a lot. Okay? And I didn't mean to tell it to you like this, but ever since Best in the Yard 4, the night where you were supposed to make your big moment by defeating the underground gunslinger Dirty DeChico, what have you done, man? Where have you been? What have you been doing? Although you did have a show-stealing performance in the first Fight for Freedom, see, this is the second one coming up. You better bring your A game this whole season if you expect to get anybody's attention, especially if it concerns anything to do with gold, brass, copper, aluminum, or tinfoil, for fuck's sake. All right?
Yeah.
Tough love.
Right. Don't blame me for that because it's got to have it. Chris Mula looked very good in the match. Definitely, again, another reason why I'm looking forward to him and Zach Cobalt. Zach Cobalt's looked amazing since he's showed up in the Slaughterhouse, in my opinion. The little bit we've seen of Chris Mula, this is his third, maybe fourth match that we've seen in the Slaughterhouse. He's looked pretty good. So definitely looking forward to seeing what those two do on Fight for Freedom 2 on a bigger stage. So might not be a bigger stage for Zach Cobalt since, as mentioned, he was part of King of the Yard too, but it'll be a big stage for Chris Mula to show what he can do with somebody that's probably going to be equal, so as to speak, in the ring with him, in my opinion. So we would move on from that match to Navon. I forgot to mention this earlier, but when he came across Zach Cobalt, he mentioned that he had been searching for his Undisputed Championship that he couldn't find. Couldn't remember what he did with it.
He had it in the start of the show.
Yes.
I believe, but he just lost it. Where the fuck did it go?
Right.
That's the question I was wondering. I'm like, how the fuck did you lose that quick, Navon? What happened?
Right.
You were just harassing this man for a pool, but you weren't even looking for your title at that point. I don't think it was in the pool.
No.
I don't think it was that deep. And you know what? Chris Mula said that it wasn't shit compared to the one he has at his house. His is built in. Navon even was flexing on the man. He was like, that ain't shit, motherfucker. That really ain't shit. I feel so damn bad for you.
Yeah.
It's
but
tough.
The interesting part of this was, as Navon's looking for that, he would come across an old rival / perhaps after this, a new what's the word to use here? Because it's not going to be friend. It's not going to be compadre. It's acquaintance, perhaps.
A new, not contractor, but he is an independent, do whatever the fuck he wants, and you have no other choice type of guy.
Yeah, that'd pretty much be it. Of course, referring to the former hardcore champion and Best in the Yard 3 main eventer, Yankee the Difference Maker, who would mention during this interaction with Navon that he is the only man in Best in the Yard history to walk out of a Best in the Yard with the mafia, so as to speak, with a group of guys with him, of course, referring to the Murder Club. These two would mention their past. We all know what these two men have been through, the Puerto Rican junkyard match, their leash matches. They've had so many matches, outstanding matches against each other in the early stages of NUW. These two men definitely do not see eye to eye. However, they do both find themselves with one common enemy. A man who has said he is going to get revenge pretty much on every enemy he has. Of course, the dark side. What was your biggest takeaway from the interaction between these two? Of course, I'll mention this. We did find out through what these two are saying back and forth. Yankee said, we are not friends. We will never see eye to eye pretty much here. But I will do this, not for you, but for me. Give me this match. I want it. Give it to me. He gets it. It'll be Yankee and the Dark Side at Fight for Freedom 2 in a Newburgh street fight.
Well, goddamn. I don't think this really has much to do with Navon other than the fact that the way Yankee was looking at that man, you could just tell he did not give one fuck about you, Navon. He didn't care. Because at the end of the day, Yankee knows what he could do to Navon.
Right.
And that title that he didn't have on his shoulder, well, Yankee knows where he can find it. He can find it in his own hand at any point.
True.
Because Yankee is that man that will do whatever he wishes. And I think that was a key moment of Slaughterhouse this episode. Just seeing the presence that is Yankee once again in the Slaughterhouse. He was once again chilling backstage, just roaming around, finding his own way.
Yep.
And, well, this time the dark side wasn't bleeding on his shoe. But at this point, Navon, he had to convince Yankee of pretty much everything at that point.
That he did.
He had to practically beg him to show up and take this thorn out of both of their back.
Yes.
And it looks like a Newburgh street fight. It's quite perfect to me. It's one of the matches I'm definitely looking forward to if both men can even make it. That's still a hypothetical.
Because we still have episode 30 before Fight for Freedom 2. So,
yeah.
Which we'll get into that a little bit more here in a little bit. But
and I think once the dark side hears that Yankee's been chilling backstage once again, it ain't going to be too pretty.
Probably not.
Because
we'll see.
Because this match intrigues me. Let's break this down. Yankee and the dark side. Well, Tony, you know both those guys.
Yes, I do.
I'll ask you some questions, and don't worry, I'll put you on the spot later on about it too. But don't worry. How do you know, knowing these two, how are they around each other?
They are bitter enemies, I would say, more so than anything. I've had them both on here on Tiger Talks Wrestling multiple times, not very often at the same time.
I don't think ever at the same time.
I was going to say, I don't believe ever. That's because, as it's been mentioned before, and I'll mention it here, these two men just cannot get along. They hate each other, period, point blank. They've had, from what I've heard, they've even had issues when they've traveled places before. I think Navon even mentioned there in that promo that those two men, when they went down to, I believe it was VTW at one point, had kind of a run-in with each other. So they just despise each other. And there's no way you can get these two guys in the same room and have them be cordial with each other.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say, because as I used to be just the avid viewer of Tiger Talks Wrestling, I was just vibing to it. I'm like, all right, let's hear everybody's story. When you bring up to the dark side, or if you bring up to Yankee, or vice versa, anything about the other, when have they ever brought up anything positive?
Never. I can't recall.
When was there ever a happy moment where they were like, "Oh yeah, man, I like his stuff. Oh yeah, he's good at what he does." I've never heard it. Never heard it. And this platform is uncensored. You can pretty much say anything you wish. So what that tells you, these men just don't give a fuck about each other. A Newburgh street fight, that's perfect. Because of everything that they got going on in the personal world and everything they got going on screen. That's just ready to make some money right there.
True.
And I think, let's say, I don't know if I should save this up for the whole, I believe there's a Fight for Freedom kickoff show, as there are going to be kickoff shows for all of the mega events this year. I don't know if I should bring it up then or if I should bring it up now. I don't know how that's going to work out, so I'll save it for then. But fuck it. These two, they just don't like each other. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And shit, you got to think, when it comes down to everything, these two have never been around each other too much in NUW.
True.
And this is really their first time against one another. Whether it was anything really. These two just, they don't encounter. Because when those two evils, I can't say evils, these two intense individuals who, when they get pissed off, on screen and off, they can be very, very intense people to be around, as I've heard. And when they drive that attention to each other, what the fuck you think's gonna happen?
Boom. It'd be like Mack truck colliding.
It's gonna be boom. That's all it is.
It's not gonna end well. That's for sure.
That's another marquee matchup for Fight for Freedom too. Yankee said in the last thing of this segment, he said, if Darkseid fucks me over, or if you fuck me over, Navon, your family, everything you know, shit's gonna happen, basically.
Pretty much.
And he has the army to back himself up. So he doesn't need Ragul. He doesn't need any of the JJ Pitbull Corderos, the Damian Fatales, nothing. He just needs the Murder Club if he's really that in deep. And if not that, he has a bat to back it up, as he walked away with.
Right. Navon knows that Yankee's not fooling him either, because if Navon, I don't think is stupid enough to try and screw over a Yankee, because he knows what Yankee's capable of. So.
Even when Navon was in charge, and despite their past, you ever notice the fact Navon never stripped Yankee of the hardcore title? You think there's a reason for that?
Probably.
Yeah. Because he knew that, shit. You just look at the Puerto Rican Junkyard match. The Murder Club, Jay Sakara, Rick Rios, they held Navon up as Yankee was playing the guitar right in front of Navon's sisters and his family, and he bashed that bleeding motherfucker right across the skull and watched him get counted for 10. He didn't care. He didn't care. So what makes you think, Navon, you ain't going to get it worse now that he has no gold?
Yeah. It's definitely something we could see again at some point. Who knows? Like you mentioned, Navon's got something that you got to imagine Yankee wants at some point. So that being the undisputed title.
And Yankee, anytime he does show up, he makes a difference. He is a difference maker.
Yeah, he's not just a tagline moniker.
He was a game changer at one point, but he is the difference maker. Anytime he shows up now, best bet, He's not
Yeah.
there just to be a part of the roster, be a part of the boys, be a part of the whole scene, put on a show. No. Yankee ain't about that life.
Right. You know, if you see a Yankee on the screen, it's something special that you're gonna see. So, it'll be interesting to see where things go from there between those three individuals, especially Yankee and Darkseid. But see if they can keep those two men apart between now and Fight for Freedom, or if we'll get a little interaction between them at episode 30. We'd move on from that into the Fight for Freedom 2 video package again. Outstanding job on that.
Whoever did that.
Yes. We would then move into PJC, who is discussing how he wants to be in this Continental Championship scramble match. Let me just say, knowing that Shadowgrim is in there and Johnny Reed's in there, I think this is the biggest mistake that PJC has ever made, in my opinion. Of course, Drew Magic would come in, would talk with PJC a little bit about it, and what we see first is PJC thinking that the scramble meant that he was needing to scramble eggs, which Drew Magic would correct him and be, no. This is a scramble match for the Continental Championship. You wrestle in it. It's not to scramble eggs.
See, sometimes I just wonder, how does PJC get around? Like, what does he do? How does he work? How does he function? Because he had the egg in the man's mouth, and well, shit, it's not even PG if I describe the position he was in. He was gonna bash that motherfucker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's he gonna scramble? It was a full egg in the man's mouth, but nonetheless, the main thing from it is it sounds like PJC is wanting to be in this scramble match. It's not hasn't been confirmed that he's in it, but I would imagine he probably is since he's saying he wants in it. But still, that was the gist of it. PJC wants in the scramble match. He wants a shot at that Continental Championship. I don't think there's much else to take away from that other than he originally thought it was scrambling eggs.
Yeah, I'm sure Navon will probably let him in just because Navon doesn't like PJC. I don't think he likes the thought of him.
Yeah, I don't know that I can blame him. I mean, if you look back at it, PJC and Navon have a little bit of history too. So,
yeah, I think Navon would just set him up for that because PJC, you couldn't figure out Mickey's name. You couldn't figure out his last name. You think this is a scramble match. I just wonder about you sometimes, to be honest.
Right. So moving along from that, we would go into the main event of Slaughterhouse episode 29. We see Samael come out first. Evan Blake would then come out for this hardcore match. And what does Evan Blake do before the match begins? He grabs a bag, dumps out that bag, and we have thumbtacks all over the ring. But not just one bag of thumbtacks. He would then grab another bag and dump out a second bag of thumbtacks all over the ring. So when we start off a match this way, what does that say to you that this hardcore match is going to be like?
Well, it sounds like Evan Blake is, well, maybe some words have inspired him to really turn things up. I feel like maybe some things I said last week, maybe that might have turned him up a little bit. He just had to throw the tacks on the ring. It ruined their boots, but, you know,
Yeah.
Samael is the king of ultraviolence. It was nothing to him.
Yeah.
He was just questioning, why does Evan Blake, a straight-edge man, want such sharp things near him?
Right.
Does he like the thought of needles or things like that? That was all that was on his mind, because Samael, don't sleep on him. Just because he was in a tag team, he is in a tag team. It's not like he can't be hardcore, and that's one of the things about Evan Blake. From what I'm hearing, he's trying to be inserted into the hardcore title picture because of this match.
That's the whole storyline going into this hardcore match. Was that Evan Blake is wanting into that hardcore match at Fight for Freedom 2. These two men went at it. We've seen plenty of weapons used. We saw at one point Samael thought he was going to be the one to hang Evan Blake, whereas the shoe ended up being on the other foot, so as to speak. And Evan Blake actually hung Samael there for a little bit, used kendo stick. This got pretty extreme, to put it one way. Very interesting, and like I said, several weapons used. These two men took it to each other. Yeah, definitely can't take anything away from Samael because he was known in DBW for being a part of all these hardcore matches. So he's definitely somebody you would think would have the advantage in this match, even though Evan Blake has had his certain amount of hardcore matches in NLBW, but we haven't really seen that side of him that much in NUW. So I will honestly say I was a little surprised to see Evan Blake come out the victor here with that spine buster in the ring full of hats. But kudos to Evan Blake. He got a big win here.
And rumor has it that Alex Del Sorenio, whatever the fuck his name was, the guy that put his hair on the line.
Yeah.
Fuck, I honestly forget. Alex De La Soranio, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I think Johnny Johnson probably would know better than I would, but
however it's pronounced.
This Evan Blake has gotten 2 main events on the new season already. So I think he's really stepping it up this year. And Samael is a guy who, as Gas Chamber, oh, that was a great name. Gas Chamber was a pretty extreme guy. He got, I believe, suplexed down a hill. And, well, he's encountered Novin with some light tubes. And, well, he was a former World Extreme Champion, if I'm not mistaken, in a certain company in Pennsylvania. And, well, Samael, he was just bringing back his roots. He's tested the dark side's hardcore side before, as those two boys wanted that. So when he's called the King of Ultraviolence, you got to know that Samael isn't going to play around. So Evan Blake had to earn his keep, and shit, he hung him. He jumped off the table first, but he hung him.
True, yes.
He made a homemade noose, and he hung the man. And you know what? I mean, everything's getting shut down for coronavirus now, but shit, I think Samael might have contaminated some of the NUW roster after that match. It wasn't safe. So if you don't see NUW for a little bit, remember, Evan Blake probably got somebody sick because of Samael.
Very possible. Very possible.
And you know what? That's another scenario, Tony. It's not just a joke. Come on. We've already seen death this season. Come on.
I know.
Shit, it was damn near 4. Oh, wait.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. All right. Never mind. That was the next segment. But, yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck? Evan Blake, 2 main events already. The fans have gone wild. They were still chanting for him to take his shirt off. But you know what? He took Samael's shirt off, and he hit him with the kendo stick. He was going rampant with it. He was making the millions of Evan Blake fans go wild. Is there anything to talk about that?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Evan Blake definitely showing that he can be a main eventer, I guess, since, like you said, he's main evented both episodes of Slaughterhouse. So, of course, losing effort in that fatal 4-way match, but nonetheless, a winning effort here. Again, very surprising winning effort, in my opinion, over Samael. Definitely would have had Samael winning him.
Yeah, Evan Blake won the hardcore match, and he seems to want that hardcore title, the vacated one.
Yes. We don't really know a whole lot about that match yet, other than it's
Guts or Glory.
Yes.
I believe that is.
They haven't really announced anybody will be a part of it. I believe it was mentioned that anybody could be a part of it that wants to be, but we'll see how that
looks like Evan Blake wants to be. And it seems like he's proved himself to be worthy of it.
Yeah.
So will he be in it? That remains to be seen. Check out episode 30, motherfuckers.
Right. In 2 weeks. So that would be the conclusion of the matches, but we would then move on to, of course, the same man that's finished off everything since he took back over control, Navon McDonald, sitting in his car on his phone, has the title with him, which he's finally found, talking to Damien Fatale, mentions to Fatale that he found his title, that he had left it in his car. One point gets mentioned that he is completely sane. He doesn't forget anything. Okay. That's all I can say.
Rational human being, Navon is.
Anyway, he would tell Damien Fatale that he is putting Fatale into the Continental Championship Scramble match as well, and told Damien that Damien didn't need to earn it. He was just automatically put in it because Navon is the owner and can do that, pretty much. Would also mention to Damien that he was a bit disappointed, I guess would be the word for it. He'd probably put it a different word, Thames. But that Vivica Jones had decided not to show up on this episode of Slaughterhouse, and in the Slaughterhouse like he had asked for her to. Yeah, he would go from there to mention in episode 30, Navon will step back into the ring in the main event, and his opponent would be somebody very close to Chris Idol, somebody from WCF, and, well,
well, it's not Chaz Evans. Not Chaz Evans. Nope.
Right. It's not Damien Fatale.
Not Fatale.
Nope.
Not Logan. Nope.
Right. Nope. None of those. No. Instead, the main event of episode 30 of NUW Slaughterhouse, for the first time ever, will be Navon McDonald, the undisputed champion, the owner of NUW, going one-on-one with Vivica Jones. Now, Navon would then say, let's hope that this will turn out the way he wants it to, and gives a little wink, and that he doesn't have to raise his hand at a woman.
Oh, you want my thought about this now?
Yes.
Well, to describe the ending segment of Slaughterhouse, well, you see, Damien Fatale, last time he was in NUW, at least in the singles division, he was fighting for the Continental Championship, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he was forced to submit to the Dark Side's crossface at the Backyard Rumble 3. And he went away, but now it seems like Navon is letting him back in. He's giving him the keys to the kingdom. He's pretty much just got to beat Shadow Grim again, and or at least Johnny Reed, or anybody else that wants in the match at this point. And, well, Damien Fatale has Navon's blessing to take over that division. So, yes, with the whole Vivica Jones thing, well, Navon he wanted everything to go well. He wanted her to show up from the UpShot. He invited her. But,
yes,
damn, has anybody told Navon that not everything that happened in your wet dream is actually true? I mean, damn. He was hoping. He was trying to pull out the anaconda and just whip her across the face with it. But now that didn't happen. Now, as Navon has famously quoted as saying, he'll break out his pimp hand and he'll smack a bitch if he has to. You know, Yankee might teach him a thing or two about that. Ask your dad. He knows about that. Oh, believe me so. Where's the CJ when you need him? But, damn it, Navon versus Vivica Jones, the main event of Slaughterhouse episode 30. That's going to be something. That's going to be something. I mean, I don't know if I can claim it as the first intergender match because we have seen lips before, but
right.
You know, we've seen some eerie things in the Slaughterhouse, but this one, I don't know about that. It's on the borderline of being we're about to call the feds and have this shit shut down, but we're just going to keep hush about it because if the feds start snooping around, they're going to see a whole bunch of fucked up things.
Sure. I mean, we're talking about the same federation that killed off 2 people on episode 28, so.
We don't need them investigating now.
Sure.
We don't even know who the fuck makes the promo packages anymore. Last time I heard it was El Jabero.
Oh,
he needed new work. I know, he needed new work. I was like,
yeah,
damn, man, you're pretty good. You know, I'm sorry Dirty killed you that one time, but shit, take my job. Why not? El Jabero needs work in 2020. Come on, NGW left. They left him high and dry.
Yes. I will mention the 3 guys from NGW are doing pretty well for themselves, it looks like, but nonetheless.
Hey, I sent you a link, damn it. Off topic. Yeah. How was that? How was it?
Good. But anyway, back to this. How can you justify Navon deciding this is going to be the main event for episode 30?
I'm not justifying anything.
Yeah, right. I would have to imagine if Vivica shows up for this, Chris Idol's not going to be far behind. We know this is the last. I'm pretty certain that this is going to be the last stop before Fight for Freedom 2. So we're definitely going to see Chris Idol and Navon McDonald go at it in some way, shape, or form, especially if Navon thinks he's going to put his hands or anything else.
I mean, Navon kind of has a history of wanting to sleep with employees' girlfriends. In case you haven't noticed, Tyler Sands from back in the day, or anybody like that.
So. If you haven't watched any of my interviews with Navon before, we've mentioned that and talked about it at length. So I'm not too fully surprised, knowing that he can do this, has done this before, but
Navon just feels like he's a pimp undercover. Like, he'll take any bitch he wants. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
She could be married, but you know what? Navon's still gonna grab at it. I mean, if you don't believe him, just ask him about the big booty bikini bitches that he likes on Twitter. Just check out his DMs sometimes if you find his phone.
I don't know if I'd want to, but still.
And Navon pretty wild. Navon's a wild person. I thought the Seagulls did it in, but damn. Navon's pretty wild.
So, off of these 2 episodes that we've seen in Slaughterhouse for this final season, we've seen a lot of new faces. Seen some of the guys that we're used to seeing, some of the guys that we're used to seeing we haven't seen yet. What is your biggest takeaways so far in this season? And, of course, we got Fight for Freedom 2 on the horizon here in a few weeks. What are you looking forward to most as we move through this season still?
Well, if things go the way I think they're going to go, Fight for Freedom 2 should be in like 3-4 weeks, something like that, depending on how scheduling works around here.
Right.
We have a UpShot. We have a Slaughterhouse to go. And what's been intriguing me is the fact that, if you can tell, despite Navon putting himself at the end of everything, pretty much every other major star of NUW has been chilling. They've been chilling, just taking a little bit of a backseat because it's Navon Underground Wrestling when he's on.
Yep.
And just ask Joseph Anthony about that.
Right.
And, well, with that, you're seeing people like Evan Blake finally get his due.
Sure.
People have wanted to see it. And hell, if he faces Navon again, like I said, that one dude is going to fucking lose his mind.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's definitely interesting to see the superstars that we're seeing. Like I said, a bunch of new faces getting chances. We've seen a couple guys who you didn't think, I at least, didn't think we'd really see in NUW again. Very surprised to see him. Caleb Cross has said multiple times that he was done with NUW, and then, of course, he pops back up again. Owen Divine at times has been claimed that he wouldn't be seen again, and we see him again. He actually picked up a win. I I am a little surprised by some of the faces that we haven't seen yet. We've seen David Lowell, kinda-ish, just
Yeah,
talking.
he was backstage, but
yeah.
I tried getting a direct message out of him for the funeral for Steven Adams, but I haven't heard shit from him. So I guess he's just taking the loss pretty hard.
Right. I was going to say, my main thing with David Lowell is he lost the Undisputed Championship at Halloween Hell 3 in that 5-way, and he hasn't really done anything since then, which is kind of weird, I guess, is the way I would look at it. I expected to see a little more of David since then, considering he lost the title the way he did without even being pinned. But we haven't seen anything from Hellhound, who was a big part of last season. Who else? I know there's other people, too. We haven't seen a whole lot of the Heretics. They've been mentioned. You haven't really seen them other than Samael in this main event match.
We haven't seen Casey James.
We haven't seen Casey James at all. Yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys are integrated more into it. I'm interested in seeing how Power's investment goes from here on out, now that we see more than just Clark Williams, who is still looking for his first win since losing to Dirty DeChico.
See, isn't that something? Clark Williams and Caleb Cross, they have something very in common with Dirty DeChico, just humbling them, and they haven't recovered since. Clark's trying to find his way. Caleb, can you do the same, please?
Caleb Cross just needs to find a new way, I think, to try and get things done in the ring.
Yeah, there's no quitting NUW, all right? You can't just quit and come back, and then try and reintroduce yourself, say you're going to take over, and then end up losing again. Come on, man.
Right.
Just handle it.
Yeah, handle your business. Figure out something. Find yourself somebody that can help you win or do something. But, hey, take even a page out of Owen Divine's book.
Do something.
Brass knocks or something, but still. It's been interesting anyways to see what we have seen over the first couple episodes of Slaughterhouse and, of course, UpShot. Next week's UpShot should be interesting. I like that they're doing matches on UpShot and kind of making it a second show, make it a little more important than what we've seen UpShot before.
Yeah, I hear that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make UpShot into a more watchable thing this season. And I think the first episode proved it itself to be something to watch, because even just the Corey Graves promo got me hyped when I saw it. I was like, all right, Corey, you better do your thing. I swear, if you get taken out again, I swear.
Yeah, that's definitely we can mention Fight for Freedom 2. It looks like it will be, it hasn't been confirmed yet, I don't believe, but it looks like it will be Corey Graves and Everett Creed in some way, shape, or form. Definitely interested in seeing where that feud goes either way.
I don't think it's been announced like formally, but I'm pretty sure even if it's not, it's going to happen some way as like an unsanctioned type of thing. Because with those two and all they went through, Corey pretty much made it clear that Everett, he's coming for you regardless.
Sure.
Even if he beats you, he's still probably going to come after you.
More with, yeah.
Because you done pissed him off for how many years now?
Many. Too many to count. 4 years, 5 years now? But still. We know that more than likely will happen in some way, shape, or form. We know the Continental Championship Scramble match coming up. The hardcore title will be determined. You got Navon, of course, in the main event, defending the Undisputed Championship against Chris Idol. We've seen Chris Idol win that Fatal 4-Way match. We've seen a little promo from Chris Idol, but I want to see more from Chris Idol, which I have a feeling we're going to in episode 30, of course. But we got Yankee versus Darkseid now announced in the Newbury Street Fight. Fight for Freedom 2 is just looking like it's going to be a can't-miss event in this final season of NUW.
Well, that's my thing. As Fight for Freedom 2, after watching that episode, it seems like if you compare it to the first one, or if we compare, you just look at 2019, how that went, Fight for Freedom, the first one, kind of stood out like in a different way than the rest of the events did.
Right.
As in the mega events. This one, I think, is going to stand out in the complete opposite way, where it's like it has so much fire on paper that it's going to be hard to find. It's going to be hard to follow that, to quote the FTC. Because, like, just look at the card already. It's crazy.
Yeah. And can't forget Zach Cobalt, of course, against Chris Mula as well.
The hardcore title, the Continental title. It's going down.
It's looking like Brothers Creed will go against the Heretics again for the tag titles.
That one, yep. As long as
hopefully
the Brothers Creed can maintain their health, it seems. And I feel like there's something else on the card, but it'll probably be announced soon. I'm sure there's more to come.
We're missing there. No, I think those are pretty much the main things that have been announced thus far. So definitely look forward to seeing how everything plays out at Fight for Freedom 2. And, of course, on episode 30 before that. It should be a big episode. Episode 30. So, 30th edition of Slaughterhouse. Any last takes on this episode 29, though?
Episode 29. Well, besides the cliche answer of I want to see what happens on episode 30. Because episode 30, like, if you compare BW and NUW, episode 30 has always been like a big thing. BW, right. Episode 30 was the road to destruction. And this is kind of what it is. It's kind of like the calm before the storm, before the mega event happens. And to me, what happened back then, what's going to happen now, it's kind of parallel right now because I'm expecting things to get really wild, especially if you got a lot of those marquee matches, as we've stated. A lot of them are going to intertwine, I feel, where it's going to be, you're going to see some Yankee, you're going to see some Dark Side, you're going to see some Chris Idol, you're going to see some Navon. It's going to be crazy. I do know this, on UpShot, I hope to see Yankee. I hope to hear more from him besides the backstage stuff that he's been doing.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely want to see more of that. Speaking of Yankee,
oh fuck! Don't tell me he's in here.
He just popped into the comment section. Says TDM got his match. That's all I care about.
Well, damn, Yankee.
Yeah, who would expect anything different from the difference maker?
Yankee really does just pop in at random.
Yes, he does. He always has. Almost think that he hears. Somehow finds out that he's being talked about and he just pops it. So,
well, goddamn, Yankee. Apparently, from what I hear on NUW soon, there's going to be another list going out, and it's going to be a top 5 Yankee in the Slaughterhouse. It's going to be his matches. So there is something to look forward to before. What happens to the Dark Side or vice versa.
Yes, it'll be intriguing to see where that match goes between Yankee and the Dark Side, as we mentioned earlier. Them two men just cannot get along, so in any way, shape, or form. So to see those two actually get in the ring, if they get in the ring, I mean, it's a street fight. They could fight anywhere they want. So it could start even outside the ring. Just to see how those two tear into each other, I have to imagine we're going to see everything brought into that match, weapon-wise. And I'm sure Yankee will have that baseball bat nearby. I'm sure Darkseid probably will pull out some light tubes, if not the kitchen sink, a fan, you name it. Everything will probably be brought out in that match, in my opinion.
Well, damn, Yankee, every match you have is a top 5. Well, be that as it may, I mean, I'm just doing what I have to do because Navon is supposed to pay me someday, if you can't tell. Navon is supposed to pay me. I don't know if he's paid you yet, your royalty for showing up, but shit, he should have. Now, Tony, speaking of, This is the put on blast moment I was referring to earlier.
Oh.
You see, I got a question that was sent in to me. I don't know if you got any sent into you, because then you'll put me on blast. But first of all, this one is about the difference maker. After you've seen him on this edition of Slaughterhouse, and after I just mentioned the top 5 thing that's soon to come out on NUW, what is your favorite Yankee the Difference Maker match in BYW?
Ooh, BYW, damn. That one's tough. He's been in so many great matches. I would have to go. Damn, I think I'd have to go with one we mentioned earlier. His match with the Puerto Rican Junkyard match with Nevada McDonald was probably my favorite match. A close second. I know I'm probably going to get shit on for this from Yankee.
Oh, yeah, he's already in the comments section. He said, I get paid. Don't worry about it. Read my comments, damn it.
I get paid. Don't worry about it. Read my comments. Yep, I got you, Yankee. We got you. My other favorite would definitely be, even though he came out on the losing end, sorry about that one, but would definitely be him and Zach at Best in the Yard 3. So, but any match he had with Navan was special in my opinion. But like I said, the Puerto Rican Junkyard match was my favorite.
I think those two are very up there for me. I think definitely, as I said, the moment that I liked the most was in front of Navan's family. The Murder Club was out there. T.O.P., Rick Rios, and T.J. Sakara representing the Murder Club held up Navan in a pool of his own blood. And, Yankee was playing that guitar. And the King of the Mountain went down. And we might just see that very soon.
Might. That we might. There it goes. Oh, so there's actually comments. I'm looking now on YouTube that didn't get mentioned here that didn't show up on StreamYard. But one comment, a couple comments from Yankee that didn't show up on here that I will mention. Yankee says, I don't care about NUW, I don't care about Navan, and I sure don't give a flying fuck about the dark side. Which I don't think either one of us are surprised by that comment. Also, Yankee would say, I want the dark side on a fucking grave. I think he meant in a grave, but still. Yeah. If that doesn't tell you.
Well, I'm seeing the comments right now. Yeah, I did not see those before, Yankee. I don't know why YouTube always censors you, but just be glad that NUW hasn't censored you yet.
Right.
Because I don't think if you mention Devon too much, it's going to be put through the filter.
Right. Yeah. Just as I put NUW on my back, put some respect on my name.
Okay there, Birdman. I already mentioned that.
Right?
I don't know if Darkseid put respect on your name when he was running his mouth for all those months and he took your damn title. I don't think he respected that. You say you get paid, but were you getting paid during that duration when Darkseid was running things? Have you got that check yet? That's the real question, Yankee. You got to remember, Darkseid is a man who did not book your Murder Club in NUW for how long?
True. Very true.
Well, you had to go to UWF and make things happen because everybody seems to forget what you did, Yankee. What are you going to do about it? You go walk into Fight for Freedom 2 and put a bat through that motherfucker's head? I'd hope so. Hey, man, NUW doesn't pay me enough to turn my lights on, all right? That's not my fault.
I was just going to mention that comment. Well, somebody's got to run their mouth. I mean, we got to keep this show interesting. So, but at least he's saying good things about you there, Yankee. So,
yeah, I'm just trying to pump you up, Yankee.
Not that I'm sure Yankee needs that.
I mean, the thing is, Yankee, at the Backyard Rumble 3, you could have been NUW Undisputed Champion. You would have got the man to shut his fucking mouth about you. But he didn't respect you enough That's why he didn't mention you when he said that Jordan Oliver, when guys like Shadowgrim, guys like Johnny Reed put this company on their back. He didn't mention you. So you got to make him. I definitely ain't no fucking hick.
We'll see it. Fight for Freedom too. Yeah, we'll see how things turn out. We're both expecting a bang 'em up, so as to speak, match between you and Darkseid. That's for sure. And I'm not going to even say who I'm rooting for in that match or anything else until we get to the prediction show for that. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm just expecting all-out war between Yankee and the Darkseid. As we've said it multiple times in the show, these two men cannot get along. They have never gotten along. They despise each other. So usually when you have two guys that are like that and they're put into a match of any sort, we all know what usually happens. Nothing good. I know you see matches where guys who are best friends tear into each other. Well, guys that hate each other sometimes even go even further. So
yeah, I don't think anything with friendship is going to be mended between these two. That ain't going to happen.
Yankee says poor booking and stupid storytelling by that fucking scumbag bitch side instead of dark side. So
well, Yankee, tell him how you really feel on the next UpShot.
yeah,
Please.
right. Oh.
Because I don't know if you heard anything, but Darkseid said he's coming for anybody who's wronged him, and I believe your name is on that list. So, yeah.
He's taken down 2 already. Well, else on that list? Well, I'm sure we'll find out the 3rd person on the next episode of Slaughterhouse, if not sooner. Oops, breaking the 4th wall. Well, who doesn't around here these days? Yankee, if you really want to air out your grievances, I mean, you're always welcome to join us here on the show too. So,
all right, now you're just setting me up for failure, Tony. You're just waiting for him to cuss out everybody.
Well, Yankee should know by now. I give him the platform. He's the guy. So he's one of them that talked me into starting this type of a show. He's more than welcome to come on to the show anytime. We'll see if it got what it takes at Fight for Freedom, but say less. All right.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, Darkseid. Shit happens.
Yeah. I was going to say, Darkseid and Yankee both have a lot to do with me doing anything at all to do with NUW or backyard wrestling. So I give an open platform to both men at any point in time.
Oh, shit. Yankee wants in. Well, Yankee, I'll send you a link. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up, motherfucker.
Well, we're using what's called StreamYard, Yankee. It's pretty simple, though, as long as you got a computer close by.
1 second.
That goes for anybody on NUW for that matter. This platform's always open to Evan Blake. It's open to Jay Genocide. It's open to Navon McDonald. God. It's open to the BOC. Anybody who ever wants to join in. Usually we're on here on Fridays. So we're getting there, Yankee.
All right, Yankee. Check out your Twitter DM in 3, 2, let's go. God damn, I haven't DM'd him in ages.
Yeah, while we're into that, this coronavirus, man, that thing's going wacko. Raw has announced that they're going to be doing an empty arena episode of Raw this next Monday in Orlando instead of doing what they originally scheduled. Not to bring it off topic, but I just figured that was something worth mentioning. Dead air for a minute. But yeah. So we got a lot that we went through. That was UpShot for episode 28, and of course Slaughterhouse episode 29. Hopefully you guys watched both of those and you were able to follow along and know exactly what we were talking about. Don't know that we'll always be on here on Fridays, but that's somewhat the plan. Work schedule permitting after every episode of Slaughterhouse.
And don't worry, the coronavirus will not prevent these reviews, hopefully.
No, they won't. Coronavirus has nothing to do with us. Just like I say this, but who knows if it's actually the truth. I don't think the coronavirus is going to stop WrestleMania from taking place on the date that it's scheduled for, but who knows with all these things that are happening right now. I mean, it has led to the cancellation of the NCAA's pretty much all their sports. It has led to colleges and even schools in around my area in Michigan that have canceled classes, have canceled school pretty much for a couple weeks. It's led to the NBA. Funny that you have that as your profile picture, as I mentioned this. The NBA suspending their season due to one of their players ending up with the coronavirus. The NHL has suspended their season for a couple weeks at least, and so has the MLB.
Hold on a goddamn minute, Tony. Hold on a goddamn fucking minute. Here I am, the guy behind the screen that's hiding behind the keyboard back there. Hey, you fucking hick. Want to talk all this fucking smack. First of all, the dark side got nothing on me. He'll never have anything on me. I'm the man that put NUW on his back when NUW first started. I'm the man that took the last of BEW and fucking send it sky high. Okay? And for you to come over here and sit the fuck down and talk shit because you want to see me riled up, it's some fucked up move. But I tell you what, in Fight for Freedom, the dark side's going to feel me. Trust me, the dark side's going to fucking feel me, man. I'm so sick and tired of him running his fucking mouth. I'm sick and tired of Navon doing whatever the fuck he wants to do with people. He's so lucky that I shook his fucking hand and I tell him, if he fucks me over again, and he knows goddamn well last time that he fucked me over, his fucking sister, his mama, his cousin, his auntie, his grandmama, everybody saw what I fucking did to that family. Every single fucking person, including the fans.
Very true. That was definitely an intense interaction between you and Navon, though, as Mr. Awesome and I were mentioning earlier, Navon's got to have something that you want at some point as well, though, that being the Undisputed Championship, I would imagine.
I think Navon is the type of person that does whatever is best for Navon. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody else but himself. He always has, and he always will be like that. Navon, if it's not about him, it's about nobody. You know what I'm saying?
If there's a reason why some people have coined it Navon Underground Wrestling instead of Newburgh Underground Wrestling, I suppose.
Hey, you know what? I honestly, I cannot comment on that. And I personally level, I cannot comment on that. Navon, look, I'm gonna tell you, honesty to God, I personally know Navon, and I wrestling know Navon. There's two different Navons here, but they're all pretty similar. And whether it's Navon, whether it's a dark side, I could care less who it is and who comes in front of me. Right now, my sights are set. I'm pretty sure I'm high on that list of the bitch side, how he wants to sit there and say that he has a hit list and how he wants to come against everybody and get everybody. And y'all saw what he did to Pitbull, but I ain't no Pitbull. I'm not 4'11". I'm 5'11" fucking inches. I'm fucking 280 pounds solid. I go to the gym every fucking day. I wake up in the morning and piss excellence. If you ever seen the fucking movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Very true. Very fair. We've seen what he's done to Ragul. We've seen what he's done to Pitbull. Like you said,
Ragul comes here every 30 years or some shit, man, and then shows up and gets beat up and then goes back home. All right, I got a legitimate reason, man. I've been doing my indie work. I've been doing my social media work. I've been doing my comedy skits, my work on TikTok. You know, the stuff that I'm getting paid for there's more life outside of the ring for me. But when I come home, and by home I mean NUW, I put the work in. I don't care who it is. I'm one of the guys that show up first and leaves last, whether I'm a vet of NUW or not. I don't care. I'm always there.
Well, since I've got you here at the moment, this is the final season of NUW. Of course, we know that you got your sights set on the dark side now. After that, though, what are you looking forward to, or what are you planning to do, I guess is the way to put it, in this final season of NUW?
There's a lot of things that I have on my table right now. I could give you a sneak peek if you want, but there's a lot of things that I'm trying to get to where, in a point, like there's always a point in your career, whether you in, BYW or whether you in, your professional career. And like I said, right now I'm focusing on myself. I want to be more healthy in a way. I've been going to the gym every day. I drop a lot of weight. I was 346 pounds. I'm 280 right now. I'm solid. I'm massive. I'm more agile than ever before. I'm more faster. I'm a fucking tank. And that's something that I always wanted to focus on, because when I joined NUW, I wasn't able to focus on that as much because I was not so much, and breaking the fourth wall, not so much as a wrestler, but also as a backstage character with, backstage, kind of like a talent leader in a way, because all these guys come over here and they always ask me, what can I do? Not everybody's trained on there. So what can I do to make this happen? How can I do it? How can I focus on this? How can I put all my mindset into this? And, I always give, the guys credit and tell them that, this is the way you do it. This is how it is. So I do more than you guys think. Just because I'm not around doesn't mean I don't have, say. I do focus on a lot of the new guys. The reason, I don't know if anybody is watching this that doesn't know this, but the reason I left NUW in the first place is because there were some rumors that I was taking too much screen time at the time. And so those were rumors that happened. And honestly, like, I could care less about the screen time, but at the time I was putting NUW on the map. NUW was just starting. The Murder Club was a huge thing, and be able to set sail and as the main stable of this new company, and it always happens in every new company. You have the NWO, you have the DXs, you have the fucking at the time the Spirit Squad was one of the main bat stables. You always have to have the main bat stable, and we were the guys to be at the time, and we had a lot of fun doing it. But I just got to tell you, it's not over. It's not over. A lot of people think the Murder Club is dead. I always keep in contact with Rick Rios. I keep in contact with all my boys, Johnny Reed, Alan Reed. We still boys, and just a sneak peek of what is to come. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of this. But it says right here, it says the Murder Club presents. Okay, you see that? The Murder Club presents, which we're still working on the dark, and the reason we do that is because we don't want people to speculate that something is going to happen in UW, because it might not even happen in UW. But the thing is, I've been very busy with my personal life. I at some point I was working 2 jobs. I was doing independent work up in Jersey and of course in New York. I was traveling a lot. Just recently, 3 years ago, I got married, so that changed my whole life. It's a big thing, and there is a lot of big things working. Currently, I'm working with a couple of companies as a backstage writer and as a trainer, to train their guys to be able to put better product, to be able to put more professional work out there instead of putting sloppy work. There's a lot of guys that I've been training that I'm not going to say any names, but eventually you see them shine. You see me shine through them. And that's how you will know that, they were part of my group that I train. And, it's one of those things that I've been keeping busy. Even though you guys don't see me on the screen, I'm still keeping busy.
off that, we have seen recently you've the UWF New York as well. Little feud there with Scorpion the Assassin. We've seen the Murder Club most recently on there as well. You, Johnny, and Alan Reed, and of course Mike Perillo.
That was a shocker. That was a shocker.
Yeah,
I got a lot of hate for that. I made the decision because me and Mike, if you guys have been following Mike Perillo used to carry Jordan Oliver's bags, man. He was such a talented kid. He didn't have the spotlight, that he deserved. When I spoke to Mike Perillo, I decided, well, and I say we because back in the days it was me and Cameron, but that kind of disbanded and it just became me. And when I spoke to Mike, I told Mike that I wanted to bring him into Proving Ground, and I said, Mike, you just cannot come back as the person you was. It just makes sense. You're pretty much, the person that you was is pretty much useless. We need to, we need to rebuild your character, and we need to work on a gimmick, to be able to sell to the fans, and of course it happened. The Italian greaser came out, the Mike Perillo, the Sauce God, came out, and I remember, man, talking to Mikey and saying, Mikey, you got to get the greaser jacket, you got to get the comb, you have to make this believable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Mikey is such a charismatic character, and he was like, I got you. Don't even say anything. I got you. And I give him the idea, and he rolled with it, and Mike Perillo became one of the hottest topics in Proving Ground. And it sucked that the Proving Ground situation kind of went down because of the whole NUW not meeting expectations and not being able to put product out. And at the time the place was we couldn't wrestle, and there was a lot of things that played part of the stopping of Proving Ground. It wasn't just us saying, fuck it, we're just gonna let it be. You know what I mean? That's not how it worked. But there was a lot of factors there, and I mean, I wouldn't say it's dead, because you might see Proving Ground make a comeback, and this time it will be a lot better, because the guys that I'm thinking of having in Proving Ground will be will be trained. So we might have like a BYW / indie promotion on our hands, which it just happens that we have to wait to find out.
It's interesting to know. Any other things that you got on your plate here in the near future?
Well, I've been working close with it's no secret, I've been working close with UWF. I've been helping them out with, of course, with training some people over there, and running my own camp, the TDM camp, which is really, really fun things to do that I put the guys through. I put them to drills. I teach them the right ways to do things and how to protect one another when they're in the ring, because a lot of people get sloppy in the ring. Nobody wants to hurt anybody,
Right.
I've been putting in the work. I also throw out ideas whenever they come. I also, make sure that I, mold these guys to be the best that they could be to their abilities. There's also, again, I'm working on a lot of things with a couple of people. Me and a couple other guys are working on a project. And like I said, the Murder Club Presents is another group that is going to be happening. Which you guys have no idea, but you guys are going to love it when you see it, because it's going to be a rebirth on a way of what the Murder Club stood for. Just new faces, some old faces, some new faces, like you guys seen already. Mike Perillo, he's definitely a new face of the MC, because he was never a part of it to begin with. And we made the decision, and I brought it up to him. He was very excited to do it, and we said, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot and see how it plays out on the screen. And he said to me, all right, let's do it. And we did. and everybody was blowing me up, bro. What the fuck, bro? Why Mikey, bro? Like, he's supposed to be this good guy, bro. Like, at the end of the day, it was Mikey's decision what he wanted to do, and Mikey is good enough to stand on his own. Okay, he's good enough to stand on his own. She shows that motherfucker fucking trains professionally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy that is professionally trained, and when you are professionally trained, you always want to hang out with the people that are professionally trained because they make you look good. And Mikey made his decision, man. I didn't put a gun to his head. Mikey made his decision, said, listen, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do. And I said, all right, let's go. I'm ready to drop. I'm ready to go wherever the hell he wanted me to go. Fuck it. You know, we ride, we die, baby.
Right.
Now, the other guy hiding behind the black camera, got any questions? I'm trying.
Well, Yankee, all I got to say is I hope that really brings you back into the NUW scene, because this is really your first time actually breaking your silence, so to say, for a good bit there, and you'll agree with that one.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of things that I want to get off my chest. It's just there's a lot of stuff that I cannot say, and the reason I cannot say it is because I don't want to be that asshole that goes out there and you know, I mean, I am a jerk in a way. So, but you know, I've been very busy. You know, I've been very busy. I've been keeping busy, but there'll be a lot more stuff coming. You know, this is being the last season of NUW. There was an offer for me because of the type of job that I did for NUW and the dedication that I put to the brand. Even when I left, you know, I took my hiatus, like people say, and just did my own thing on the independent wrestling, which I'm still doing. You know, I did that in the best time because, you know, I won tag team championships in the indies. I have wrestled for heavyweight championships in the indies, and you know, and that's something to feel proud of. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do that thing. You know, I used to go to school all the time, and I used to bust my ass. I get in the ring as soon as they open the doors, and I don't get out until my teacher kicks me out. So, you know, be able to do that and come out successful, like, you know, you have to kind of take a step back. And even though the rumors of me taking too much screen time were true, and you know, in a way, like I was carrying the whole heel division on my back. We have no heels, and I still felt like I have to come back, and you know, breaking the fourth a little bit. Navon messaged me and he called me and we spoke and we talked about the possibility of something happening for me, and I said, you know, I never turn anybody down, but I was skeptical at first, but I did say, you know, let's see what the fuck could happen. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, if it's going to be the last season, it's got to be. I can't. NUW will never be the same if he ends without me. Period.
True. I would definitely agree with that because, as you mentioned, to me, you're one of the only. Trying to think of the exact words to say here, but when you look at heels or villains, whatever you want to call them, in NUW, you definitely would be up there as one of the more true villains, I guess you would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've done a lot of things that a lot of people won't even think of, you know, like especially for BYW. Nobody ever thought about, you know, let's take it back to the Best in the Yard when I, you know, powerbombed Jack Daniels' wife through a table and slapped her ass in front of everybody. Like, you know, when I went to Navon's house and, you know, kidnapped his sister, and I went to, at the time it was ECW, I guess, the PA, and I powerbombed Madness onto a grave. Like, you know, I'm doing all these things that not one fucking heel in the history of BYW is doing. You know, I'm breaking boundaries because I love the business. Period. You know, I don't care if I'm in BYW. I don't care if I'm in the Indies. I love wrestling, and wrestling is something that has always kept me sane. You know.
Yeah, I hear that. So what else? We know you got this Dark Side match coming up. What else are you looking at going in this feud wise?
You talking about the feud with the Dark Side?
Yeah.
Honestly, personally, I'm looking to bury the hatchet, and by burying the hatchet, I mean like completely demolishing and finishing this man, once and for all. We have history, man. This man, we have fucking almost went to blows in North Carolina one time, to the point that people that aren't even like people that are not even wrestlers knew about it. The fans knew about it. Me and this guy have gotten multiple fights, multiple arguments, physical arguments. I'm talking about face to face. Arguments are like, in Dark Side, he might act tough, but he's not fucking tough. He's not, you know what I mean? He's one of those fucking, dogs that bark but no bite, and I was face to face with him straight up in fucking North Carolina, and I told him to punch me in the fucking face if you had the balls to do it, and he didn't do shit. He walked off, and Devon had to get in between us because I was gonna fucking kill this dude, and I just want to bury the hatchet and completely finish this man once and for all. Whether it's wrestling, whether it's not wrestling, me and this man have a history, and it's got to finish some fucking how in some fucking way. And I tell you what, I'm not gonna hold back in that match. Like everything that I'm gonna do to this fucking man, I'm gonna fucking mean from the bottom of my fucking heart.
Yeah, that's the point I was kind of trying to make across, that it's definitely very deep rooted, not just what we've seen on screen, but you two have a dislike for each other or hatred of each other that goes beyond what we've seen.
Absolutely. When the opportunity came to me, and they say, Navon said to me, I have this idea, but I don't know how you feel about it because of the history. I said, say less. I want that match. I want it. He's like, are you sure? Like, are you going to keep it professional? I was like, I can't promise you I'll keep it professional, but I want it. As long as people fucking see this match, as long as people like what the fuck I'm doing, I don't give a fuck about keeping it professional. This is my chance to get him in a one-on-one ring with me and be able to do anything that I want, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And the thing is, he picked the wrong fucking TDM to do it with, because back when I was in North Carolina, I was 330 pounds and I was flying everywhere. But now I'm a fucking tank. I'm 280 pounds solid. I go to the gym every day. This man has fucking back problems and trouble breathing. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, he's even said on UpShot that he's supposedly not cleared by doctors to even compete.
I'm going to be clear when I beat his ass.
Right. I would just imagine it's going to be very physical, and probably, as the old saying goes, not for the faint of heart for anybody that wants to watch that match. If I freedom.
No. If you're not going to watch a match, there's no way we're going to have a match. We're going to have a fight, and I know he's not going to back down, and I could give two shits. I am in way more better shape than he is, physically, mentally. I'm more driven. I'm more hungrier, and the fact that pissed me off the most about the whole situation is the fact that, I was supposed to be NUW champion, but because he wanted to take the screen over and he wanted to put titles on himself, now we're having this fucking fight. And, shit's going to happen. Shit's going to get fucking real, Tony.
I do want to mention something that hasn't gotten mentioned that often on screen, but I do believe it has been mentioned since the beginning of the season. You did get stripped of the hardcore title, but you are in possession of another item that Navon probably should worry a little bit about, that a certain briefcase, if you will.
Yeah, I am. And, you never know where I'm going to catch that. I want to catch it soon, but certain situations might not allow me to catch it the way I want to catch it. So, it's one of those things that you have to kind of like thread lightly. I do want to win the championship. I do want to be NUW champion before the season is over, but I have too much things on my plate. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, I would care less. My mission continues to be the same: demolish, destroy, conquer the NUW, and give birth to a group of individuals that are going to take over and be able to be successful with it. Hey, Tony, your boyfriend over there ain't even talking, man.
I'm just letting you talk.
Well, you do the talking now. I want to hear from you. You're over there all quiet.
All right, Yankee.
With the fucking nightlight on and shit.
Well, goddamn, your shit's turning colors, but that's fine.
You like that?
I need
You
some
like
lights
that
in my
shit?
place. You're
You like
right.
That's what
I need
happened.
some lights. I need some lights up in my place.
Yeah,
You got that difference maker pay right now.
you already know. See, you talking about how I'm not getting paid. I'm getting paid, baby. I'm getting paid.
Well, hopefully you're getting what Darkseid didn't pay you.
Well,
That's all I'm.
I'll tell you what. I charge for appearances, so depends where I'm at. I charge for appearances. Might be a little cheaper if you're my friend, but you still gonna come out of pocket.
Well, Yankee, two things I got to bring up. You talking about you training. You've been out of the game for a minute.
Yeah.
And if you remember Fight for Freedom 1, when you were defending your hardcore title against Hellhound Zach Romig, and you saying now you're in much better shape, what do you think after you destroyed Hellhound like that? What do you think people can expect for Darkseid to experience when you didn't even have much of a problem with Romig compared to Darkseid?
First, I want to say to Romig that hell of a competitor, but kid, you're not in my league. Plain and simple, you're not in my league. And if you're watching this, I hope you rewind this so you can hear me again. You are not on my league. And the match with me and him was great, and I give the kids prop, but you can't put yourself. It's like going into a fucking lion's dungeon, bro, and you holding a piece of steak. You know what I mean? But if you think that was bad, imagine what I'm going to do to the dark side with me and him face. I'm a brutal man, man. I'm very brutal. I go black in the head when I go into the ring. You know what I mean? Like I completely black out and I do what I got to do to win. And you're never gonna know what's gonna happen. But this is not gonna be a wrestling match. I guarantee you and promise you, it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, I definitely hope so, because I think when it comes down to it, that was, I believe, your last one-on-one match in the NUW was last year at Fight for Freedom 1. The whole year's changed now. Darkseid's done what he's done, but you've been training. You've been having your mind set right. And I hope that you can bring it, because people have been saying while you were on your way out, so to say, while you were taking your time, people were talking bad about you. They were like, well, Yankee, is he done? Is he gone? Is the murder club done? Like, people think you got washed out, so you better show them wrong. You better put that fist up and drive it through his fucking face. That's all I gotta say.
I tell you what, people can say whatever the fuck they want to say. They don't sign my fucking checks, and that goes for the fans. That goes for all the wrestlers backstage. That goes for Navon. That goes for Darkseid. That goes for every fucking body. They don't sign my checks. I could care less what they think of me, what their image of me is. I show up. I bring the crowd wherever I go. People follow me wherever they like to follow me or not. They still fucking tune in to see me. And it is what it is. I took my time. I did my thing. I busted my ass. I worked, and I have a family to maintain. I wanted to keep a training schedule. What I'm telling you that I spend my year well spent. I did. I really did. And I'm still the same dude, but a lot is going to change. And you can see by the time I came back to NUW, when you saw me when I beat the hell out of the fucking Darkseid, I look more determined. I look smaller. I look way more determined. I look like I want to kill somebody, and that's my mentality from now on.
I hope so, because this is definitely the first big step for your comeback. I'd definitely say that, because as I said earlier on in the program, I think with you and NUW this year, I think the way I'm taking it is you're not just coming around to be part of the roster, just do your own thing, having a regular match. Nah, you have set goals you want to get across. You want to go make your own moves. And Darkseid, yeah, he's done some things since you were gone. Yeah, he's beaten Dirty DeChico, a fellow Murder Club member, at King of the Yard too. Yeah. But people got to remember, you're a guy that main evented Best in the Yard 3. You led that fucking army.
Yeah.
And you brought it to Zach Daniels.
I did.
So you really shouldn't be sleeping on you, no matter how long you've been gone.
And people forget history, and history has a tendency of repeating itself. I feel personally that Darkseid did his thing. He defeated Dirty the Chico, but that's only one name out of 100, and he also had the same fucking match, best 2 out of whatever the fuck with Navon constantly. So fighting one guy for your whole career is fucking stupid. I fucking traveled. I went everywhere. I wrestled anybody, anytime, any place. I pulled the work in. You know what I mean? I know what I've done. I really don't give a fuck what he's done because nobody remembers that. But the only thing people remember of the Darkseid is how he talks a lot of shit and how he fights Navon 27 times, best 3 out of 37. You know what I mean?
I kind of disagree with you a little bit on that, but because he had a lot of matches that were.
And I guarantee you're the only person that fucking remembers because I don't remember none of them.
He defended.
That's because you're a fucking journalist for this bullshit, man. You sit there behind your computer and you watch every episode and every match and you learn it. And I tell you what, you're really, really good at it, Tony. You really, really are. But that doesn't change the fact that I am 100%, if not 150% better than the Darkseid. Period. In the ring, in the microphone, wherever you want to put me, commentary, wherever you want to put me, I'm there and I'm way better than him. Period.
Fair enough. I won't argue completely on that one, but I'll give you that much. Definitely.
What's the name of that guy? What's the name of that guy in the black screen?
Mr. Awesome, damn it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got offended or something?
No, I did not.
I'm kind of liking you more now, Mr. Awesome, since Tony wants to over there suck Darkseid's penis.
No, none of that.
Hey, Yankee, he said he wasn't giving no prediction either, so if he's going to not give one right.
I want to hear it. I want to hear your prediction, Tony. What are you going to say? You want to pick the Darkseid over me?
I would not be that foolish to just say the Darkseid's going to win over you.
I want you to pick the Darkseid. I do. I want you to pick the Darkseid because I want to break your dreams. I want to fucking shatter your dreams when I beat the hell out of the Darkseid. Right when you're watching on your little computer side on the same chair you sit down every fucking episode and you're watching, I want you to be like, oh yes, Darkseid, beat the shit out of him, get him, because at the end of the night I'm gonna be victorious and you're gonna be crying to your mama. Period.
I hear you. I'm not saying I'm picking the Darkseid to win that match. Fight.
I want you to.
You might want me to, but that doesn't mean I'm going to. Because I'm not that stupid, to be honest with you. No offense to the Darkseid, but Yankee, I've seen your matches just like I've seen his matches. I know you both can go at it when it comes to hardcore fights or street fights. I know what you guys can do to each other and to other people. I just happen to think, no offense to Darkseid, because I have mentioned this before, I do kind of hope that he wins his fair share of matches through this last season. I want to see him as undisputed champion before the season's over. I'd love to see you as undisputed champion before the season's over.
Let me tell you, as long as this continues with the poor booking and the stupid creative, it's gonna be hard for you to see me as champion. I'll tell you that.
Fair enough.
Whoa.
What's that?
I said the fourth wall. Hello. I love you, Colt Cabana.
Don't we all? But yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting brawl, a street fight to see how things go down between the two of you. If you want to put me on the spot, yes, I'll be picking you. I figure you'll be the one to pick up the win over the Darkseid there. So
let's go. Look at that piece of fucking ham. Look at that piece of steak. You never listen. The way you're gonna see me, you never seen me before. I'm more agile, more aggressive. My mentality completely changed from a pack to a lone wolf type of thing, and that's the most dangerous. You can't back a dog into a corner, man. You can't do that.
Right.
Hey, Mr. Awesome, I want to hear from you, man. I know you got questions, and you're sitting back there in the little dark and behind your screen light because you can't fucking show your face.
Oh yeah, it's going great. But questions.
Yeah.
Well, I've given you some, and I'm sure the dark side is probably going to hear on this soon. Do you have any words for the dark side ahead of this match? Since I doubt you're going to want to be in the same place as him for at least until the day of.
I mean, he's not good to doubt because you never know what could happen. Any words? I just want him to be at his best. And at his best, I mean like his 60% of whatever he could give me, because he definitely not going to be able to give me 100. Definitely not going to be able to keep up with me. I'm going to take him to the limit. The dark side, me, we met in the ring a couple of times, and every time that I meet in the ring with the dark side, I take him to the limit. And every time I meet in the ring to the dark side, he never has beaten me. He's always somebody else that he pins. So is him fucking doing whatever with his little fucking sink. Or is him fighting the bond. I mean, that's a different story. But I want him to face me, and I want him to bring his best, his A game, if you want to say. Because I'm going to bring mine.
I think you got a point. I think you have the edge right now because, and I'd say you'd have my pick because what is Darkseid doing right now? He's worrying about other people like Ragul, Pitbull. He's not even, if he was smart to face this new version of Yankee, I think he would have to go back into Yankee's past and face some people that he rolls with. Guys like D-Lock, guys like Rick Rios, guys like Dirty Again if he has to. Guys like that, TJ. Anybody like that who is known to serve on your side, that would probably give him better advantage. But if he thinks he's just going to hit some weapons on you and you're just going to take it, like, no.
I've been hit with a lot of weapons in my fucking career. And I keep getting up. I've been hit with cowbells. I've been hit with fucking chains. I've been broken through ladders. I've been broken through tables, through chairs. And I keep getting up. I put the hardcore division on my back. The hardcore was a joke before I grabbed the hardcore title and I started it off. I gave new meaning to the hardcore title. I made specialty matches like the Puerto Rican Junkyard, and I did all these things to bring the hardcore because I wanted the hardcore belt to be as meaningful as the World Heavyweight Championship was. I wanted to be able to give life to that title because that title was dead. They went with that gimmick of the anti-hardcore, and that fucked the title. And when I got the title, I ended up wanting to rebuild this title to be something that people wanted to see, because the anti-hardcore, that was the most disgusting, stupid idea from creative that I would never think of. And not disrespect to David Lowell. Me and David Lowell are great friends. But the idea of the anti-hardcore was completely disgusting. And it took me and Felix to bring it back to what it used to be. Me and Felix went into a couple of matches. Me and Felix did some hardcore stuff. And I honestly told Felix that I wanted it to be the hardcore. I wanted to be the hardcore title to be as valuable, if not a must-see, title of NUW. Like, I wanted that. I needed that, and that was my goal. And I think I accomplished it. I think I really did. I think I set the pavement for other people to walk on. You know what I mean? When it came to the hardcore.
Off of that, I got two questions for you. First of all, the hardcore title we know is coming back at Fight for Freedom 2. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you see things going forward with the hardcore championship division?
I'll be honest with you. I hope that whoever takes it is able to put the same work and ethic that I put. When I grabbed the hardcore title, I was very fearless. I told and even when I was on the position of being and having fear, I was still like, we gotta do this. This is part of the job, and if you want to make this title pop, we have to do certain things, And the hardcore title holds a very dear heart, a very dear space in my heart. because I made that title what it is today. I made it relevant. I was able to bring it out of the shadows that it was the anti-hardcore. And it took me a while. I held the title for shit. I'm pretty sure I'm the longest hardcore championship in NUW history. And it took me forever to build it for what it is now. So I hope that whoever takes it takes good care of it. I hope that whoever takes it sees it as one of the main titles, because it really is a piece of art. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to be able to be a hardcore champion.
Now, my second part to that, you mentioned how you wanted to elevate the hardcore title, make it mean as much as the Undisputed Championship. There's a certain individual in NUW right now who just won the New York Championship that has pretty much said the same thing he wants to make that title into. What are your thoughts of Brandon Castelli and his whole pretty much saying those exact same words about the New York title?
Brandon Castelli, Brandon Castelli. So I don't know if Mr. Awesome knows a story about Brandon Castelli and all that, but give me 1 second. Hold on.
Yankee will be back with us momentarily.
Yes. I just had to bring that up with the wordings he was using. I was like, that'd be a missed opportunity not to bring it up. And I know Yankee has known Brandon for a long time as well. Going back from him being a part of Proving Ground back in the day too. So,
sorry about that. Have to deal with father duties. Back to the Brandon Castelli situation. Brandon Castelli is, again, a breaking the fourth wall. He's a really good friend of mine. Brandon Castelli, if you guys don't know who that is, he used to be the Ghost up in NLW. And he used to be the Ghost in LBW. And before I bought NLBW, because a lot of people don't know this, but maybe you do, Tony, because you do a lot of trivia stuff. I bought NLBW, and when they ended, I brought them to Proving Ground because I needed fresh people. And I actually paid money, like real money, to buy off NLBW, by the channel, by the Twitter. I went all out for this, and this wasn't a work. This was real life. Like I paid off to be able to have it. And Brandon Castelli was one of the guys included in that package. And at the time, Brandon, his name was not Castelli. I gave him the Brandon Castelli name. Me and him sit down and we created this character for him. He still wanted to keep the Ghost character, so we went with the idea of he likes superheroes and supervillains, and we went with the idea of the Two-Face from Batman, where he has a coin and he'll flips it and tells you what part of him you get in the ring, which I don't know if you guys follow Brandon Castelli, but he used to carry this mask with him, which it was a nightmare because the mask was very close to his face. He couldn't barely breathe, but it was his gimmick. That's what he wanted to do, and I praise him for that. But Brandon Castelli holds a very, very, very special place in my heart, man. He's been with me through thick and thin. In a personal level, he's been with me through my depression. He's called me and we spoke a couple of times, and hence to Brandon Castelli being who he is now. You don't know. You might see Brandon Castelli, come out, and do his own thing and be able to succeed on his own way. But I want to trust me when I tell you that I have a special place for Brandon Castelli.
Gotcha. Is there anybody on your radar that you've kind of been watching or that you'd like to have an interaction with going forward after this whole thing with the Dark Side's over with? For this
there's a lot of people that I want to be able to interact with, and in a good way. Brandon Castelli being one of them. I also want to interact with Joseph Anthony. I also want to interact with Mike Perillo a lot more because, you know, there's things there that I want to do before I leave, and those guys are on my radar. Definitely want to interact with Johnny Reed. If you guys been watching UWF, you guys know that me, Johnny Reed, and Alan are back together now. Perillo is in the picture, which is great. I also want a couple of more guys in there, but I can't spoil it for you, but we're working on it. We're working on things, and you guys are gonna love it. You guys are gonna appreciate what I'm trying to do, and the group is trying to do for you guys.
Nice. I'm sure we will. I know I'm.
It might not be an NUW though, because like this is the thing is what Mr. Awesome said. He said that Darkseid kind of buried, you know, creatively, okay, not buried. I don't want to use that word, but creatively bury the Murder Club, and in a way, is not really true, but in a way, it also is true because we're not on screen as much as you would think, and that's because again, there was rumors that we were taking too much screen time, and out of respect for Navan, we decided to step away and do our own things. I mean, we went through other companies, and there's a lot of people that follow us through other companies, so. And we did our thing, you know, in other places, but we still keep in contact. We still talk. There's still always a possibility of who knows showing up, you know. I would love for this group that we are working on right now to be able to not spread, because I don't want it to spread. I want it to be a small thing, very contained thing, because the Murder Club. That I didn't even know how that got that big.
That's all I'm saying, because it went like under the radar after it was like so big. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so it's crazy because I don't know how it got so big. I think the popularity of the Murder Club kind of like spun out of control because like you had like the best talents on every company. Like you have me, Rick Rios, Dirty the Chico. You have fucking TJ Sakara at the time. You have fucking D-Lock, you know, this is like people that were like top dogs in all their companies, and they were all there. You had Victor Van Pelt, like there was always that top guy in different companies that were there, and from there it went to Tim or Casey James, Samael, you know, all these people started coming in, and it was like, you know, fucking great. You know, it was fucking great. You got Evan Blake, like every big person that you had on the company of each company, like it was in the Murder Club, which is fucking insane. Yeah. And that's how we booked each other, you know. The top dogs were in this group, and we were like, oh, we're going to show up here, and we're going to do our thing. And I was like, all right, say less. We're going to show up too, and we're going to work, you know. So in a way, it was good. But NUW at the time, I feel like, you know, and by NUW, I mean one person at the time felt like it was too much for them to handle because, you know, we were too over. We were too over with the fans. It's very rare that you see a stable of bad guys go over so fucking well. And the Murder Club is one of those stables that you always think of yourself like, God damn, I wish I was one of them motherfuckers. You know, we took trips together. We always took trips together to different places. We always felt there was so much footage of us traveling from state to state in a car with you know, Rick Rios, me, Victor Van Pelt. There was footage of us, the Murder Club, and you know, fucking wrestling in a hotel room. Like there's footage of what the Murder Club used to do when we were out and about behind the scenes that you guys will probably think, God damn, these motherfuckers are fucking such an awesome group to hang out with. But in the screen, you think about it and you'd be like, damn, these guys are fucking deadly. Like I would love to have them having my back. You know what I mean? So we were over with the fans. We were just not too over with creative, because a lot of creative teams from every company were like, ah, damn, this guy's come over here. There's so much talent that if I put them over, we're going to bury the whole company. You know, and that's eventually what happened. You know, nobody wanted to put the Murder Club over because they were afraid that their own guys were going to like vanish. You know, you're gonna have to build a show around the MC, and people are not willing to take that risk when you have so much talent. You know what I mean?
Right. That's definitely a lot of guys that you would have had to see throughout different promotions. So
yeah, it was awesome. I missed those days, honestly, and I'm not gonna say we don't have them because we still talk. Like, you know what I mean? We still talk. We're still keeping contact, and by still, I mean like most of the Murder Club keeps in contact with each other. We talk to each other. We just have different lives, and a lot of the wrestling situation changed. A lot of people that were in the Murder Club, they don't want to wrestle anymore. They're doing their own thing, whether it's music, whether it's selling merchandise for, some people, whether it's, making content of whatever, or, there's different people in different ways,
True. Things change, that's for sure.
We'll still have some new blood working on, so you'll be all right.
And it's true. Well, speaking of new blood, are there any other companies out there on YouTube that you look at as new blood that's rising up? That
I gotta be honest with you. I don't, man. And I don't want to sound mean, but I don't, because I'm so focused on what I have to do to get to what I need to be. And I feel like if I go on YouTube and I search whatever, I'm going to get distracted and I'm not going to be focused on what I have to do and get done on my end. And I want to send out NUW with a bang, period. A lot of people I remember when the NUW and VTW wars were going on, where, we didn't know which one was the top company. And now we see which one was the top company, because the other one perished and NUW is still here. So, and it was literally mainly three companies. It was NUW, VTW, and UWE. And there's three companies out of all of them. NUW is the only one that's still standing. So that the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if NUW is going to finish, I want to send it out with a bang.
Well, I don't think anybody else would want to see it end any other way. I mean, we've seen the way the other two companies that you mentioned have kind of fizzled out. So
I just want you guys to know that when the cards came to me about NUW, ending, I voted against it. I voted against ending NUW because here's a fourth wall. Let's just be real. Before NUW was decided that it was going to end, it got brought up to like the round table, and say, what are we going to do with this? How are we doing it? Are we ending it right away? What's happening? And people want it done and over with because people have all the life. But I voted against it for the simple fact that NUW opened doors for those that wanted to fall in love with wrestling. Okay. And he opened doors for guys like Jordan Oliver. He opened doors for me. He opened doors for guys like Felix, Johnny Reed. He opened doors for guys like Brandon Castelli that nobody even care about. He came into NUW and now he's, he travels and wrestles in other companies. Like, he opened doors for people. And I feel like ending something that special will completely close doors to those guys that are willing and able to come out and wrestle. There's a lot of people that want to do this, and unfortunately, things happen. We get older and we outgrow whatever we love, but there's some of us that still love the business and still want to do as much as we can for it.
that's a good way to look at it. And a fair point. I know a lot of us don't want to see NUW come to an end, but
I know it's going to happen though. It's going to happen. We just got to be ready for it. And the guys that are going to be involved, I guarantee they're going to give you a hell of a show. So he's going to go out with a bang.
All right.
Yeah, there's going to be still some life in it. There's still some life to live in it.
And and I don't want to spoil anything, but I think Mr. Awesome, he said that there will be a top 5 of my matches going on. Apparently, is a rumor. I don't know if is that confirmed. Is that confirmed?
Yeah, that's a confirmed thing. There's at least one before like Fight for Freedom airs.
Really? Okay, so
basically to hype up your return. Basically, is what I understand.
I haven't heard this yet, so this is news to me.
Spoiler.
Again, you know, they this is the reason why I took off, because they don't tell me anything. They leave me in the dark. And this is news for me. But like I said in the chat, every fucking match that I'm in is a top 5. Okay, and one of my favorite matches that I had, if I was to pick my own top 5, the first one will be Puerto Rican Junkyard match with me and Devon. That match had so much storytelling, so much you know, so much suffering and so much pain and so much like bad blood, and people were crying. People were crying in the crowd. You could hear them crying. You could hear them trying to call ambulance. You know, like this match went from being like underrated to like a fucking classic. Like, you know what I mean? It was like very like it was like, oh, Nirvana and Yankee for the second time. What's gonna happen? Da 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 da. You know, the first one was the fucking Bull Rose match, and you know, it was like cool, but when the Puerto Rican Junkyard match came out, he like set the tone, and that's exactly where the hardcore title peaked. You know what I mean? Because now everybody that is hardcore has to follow that. They have to try to live up to that fucking one match that me and Nevon put our bodies through. We man, there was so much things that happened. I don't want to spoil anything, but I am going to tell you that even though NUW is going to be ending, I have plans and ideas for keeping the channel alive. I brought it up to Nevon already and talked to him. Maybe we could do something like, you know how WWE does backstage. We would kind of do that as well, to kind of like see, you know, relive matches and have the two people in that match kind of watch the match together and say what was happening and what they were thinking when that was happening. Because I remember when Nevon climbed that ladder, and then the Puerto Rican Junkyard match, he climbed that ladder and he was going to jump on me, and I was on the table. I literally looked up and I was like, he's going to get fucked up. Like, there's no way he's making this. Like, I literally, as I'm in the table, I look up and I'm like, fuck. Like, he's far. He's fucking deep. He ain't gonna make it. And soon enough, I said that shit, he leaped and the fucking ladder fucking went off of his feet. And I see him coming down, and it happened so fast. But in my view, it was in slow motion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when he dropped, I was like, fuck. Like, he hit, bro. He hit hard, man. I think now, wrestling, everybody knows wrestling is a show, and we try to at least try to protect each other. You know what I mean? But when that happened, the first thing I remember was grabbing him. I reached over to him with my arm because I wanted him to give me that squeeze, you know, that he's okay, because I was nervous because the way that he hit the table, I thought he decapitated himself. I honestly did. I literally did. It was gross. I don't know if you've seen the slow-mo replay, but it was fucking gross. He hit hard, and I literally remember grabbing him and saying, "Are you good?" And he didn't grab my hand at first, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, I'm like, "Are you good?" And he turned around and he was like, "I can see shit," and I was like, "Well, we got to finish, so fuck it." Because he was fucked. He said, "We gotta finish," and I was like, "We gotta finish, fuck it." And he's like, "I can see shit." And I was like, "Gotta happen." That's it. So we went with our guts, man. But the match was a classic, and we give people the show of the lifetime. You know, I'm proud of that match. I am very proud of that match, and to be able to say that I did it with Nirvana, out of all people, you know, it's meant to happen. History.
Right. It's usually something special when you have a match like that with somebody that you can trust and are close to.
Absolutely.
Behind the scenes, we know you and he actually are. So
yeah. What's up, Mr.
Man,
Austin?
poor Navon, that elbow drop turned into a fucking head dive. Cameron Jackson style, just went.
Well, it was supposed to be, it wasn't even supposed to be an elbow drop. It was supposed to be a frog splash. It was supposed to be his pattern. You know, he has a pattern frog splash that he does.
Yep.
It was supposed to be his pattern frog splash, and before the situation went down, we talked to each other like, how can we elevate this even more? Because remember, we have this chains around our necks. Like we only could go, literally the chains was 12 feet from each other. So it was the same length of the ring. So we could go to the four corners. But once we step off the ring, like it cuts so much off the ring that we couldn't even like keep up because it was 12 feet. So I remember I have to tell him a couple of times because he kept forgetting that he had that fucking chain on his neck. And I have to tell him, like, you get off the fucking rope. You got to go this way. You know, you're killing the gimmick, kid. Like, you know what I mean? And he did the first frog splash. And if you see, it was very weak. It was a very weak frog splash, right? He did it, and he looked like he just landed in the same spot. And he looked at me and said, "That's it. Fuck it." And I was like, okay. Like, I was like, all right, let's see what's up. Like, what are we going to do to elevate this? And he grabs that fucking ladder. And as he grabs the ladder, I'm thinking to myself, nobody planned this. Okay. This is not planned. This is a spot that we did on the moment. And I'm thinking to myself, nobody planned this. So nobody knows where to place themselves, especially like referees and backups to be able to hold that ladder. So if you notice when the ladder went up, motherfuckers just scattered. Like, I think the referee went one side, and I think fucking Nate Rollins went in the other side because that wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Nate got weak knees. Okay, Nate Rollins, he has weak knees, and he grabs it. He puts his foot on the ladder, and I'm thinking to myself, his fucking knees ain't gonna hold that ladder up.
The force was not held down at all.
No. He needs a shot. Okay. So he put his fucking knee on the ladder, and I'm thinking to myself, his knees are not gonna hold the fucking ladder down. His knees are gonna give out. And then at the time, I believe the referee was who was that referee? Was it Justin? Or Justin was in the camera, maybe. I don't remember, but somebody was. No, it was Justin. And if you guys don't know Justin is the guy that owns Nerds of Wrestling. He was a referee, and he comes over to hold the ladder, and I'm in the table at this time. Like, Navon already had put me on the table, and I look at Justin. Justin looks at me, and I give him the signal, and I go, hold the fucking ladder, because Nate ain't going to hold it. That's just that's going to happen. So instead of fucking holding the ladder from the back, they both go from the side of the ladder. All right, now I'm here like on my back, and I'm like, he's gonna get fucked up. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, this is it. He's gonna die, dude. And then I thought to myself, like, he could make it. Fuck it, he could make it. I think he could make it. And then he fucking leaves, bro, in the ladder. He's here, okay? He's here. He jumps this way, and instead of just jumping on place, he decides to push the ladder. So he pushes the ladder to, jump off, and the ladder fucking tilts, and he literally goes like a foot away from the ladder and just drops. Like he goes like this, and instead of like going forward and dropping, he literally drops. It was fucking done, dude.
Not to mention, it would have probably went well even if it was held down. But the man has a fucking chain around his neck, pushing him where he doesn't want to go.
Time of him climbing the ladder and me laying down, the chain went from 12 feet to like 3 feet left. Like, the chain was like, you know what I mean?
Like it was not going to work.
For him to be able to jump. Another spot that wasn't planned in that match that I absolutely love is when Navon flicks the chain in the beginning of the match. He flicks it. He flicks the chain, and the chain bounces up and hits me on my face. That wasn't planned. And I was not a very happy camper. I was not a very fucking happy camper because if you looked at me when the chain hit me, I looked around because I wanted to see the crowd's reaction, and I looked around the crowd. And the crowd was like they knew that wasn't supposed to happen because I looked around and everybody's like, "Oh shit." I don't think that was supposed to happen. And I remember getting on Nabon's face and going, "You hit me again with a damn chain in my face, I'm fucking you. I'm fucking you up like instantly." And he's like, "I didn't even know I hit you." He was like, "I didn't even know I hit you." I said, "Motherfucker, you knew you fucking hit me, bro." And there was a couple of receipts on that match, you know.
Well, definitely the top 5 of Yankee in the Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And I have to keep the keyword in the Slaughterhouse because the BYW, I mean, there's a lot more.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more that I did in good places that people freak out about. I did a small spot, not to like, you know, for not to give shout outs, but UWE. When I went there, I did a small spot where I did a moonsault on Nick and TJ Sakara from it was like a deck. It was really not that far up. It was like maybe like a foot of the ground, but the way that the camera was angled, it looked pretty dope. And people was like, "Oh, that was sick. That was so sick." And I'm like, "Not really. No, it was like a fucking foot off the ground. What are you talking about? I was so sick." For the way that he looked like he was higher for some fucking reason. I don't fucking know. But there's a couple of memorable times that I spent there. Like when I showed up in the Royal Rumble, you know, they had a Royal Rumble, and I showed up there, and I was like a mystery. So it was kind of cool to be there too and be able to
a survivors match.
Yeah. Also, one of my favorite moments was when me and Rick Rios showed up at VTW, and the first time we ever hit the Superman pop-up powerbomb combo, we did it on Zach Daniels, and he blew the fucking building's top off, dude. Everybody sitting there got off their fucking seat.
He got a real high angle off that fucking pop.
Yeah, well, you see the crowd? The crowd reaction was fucking amazing. I didn't see when it happened. I didn't see the crowd reaction because I was in the moment, you know.
Right.
I look back on it, and I remember D-Lock, when everything was said and done, went to the back, and he looks at me and goes, "I marked the fuck out." He was like, and you know, he's very like redneck, you know, he's very like South. He was like, "I'll tell you what, man, I marked the fuck out when I saw you push Zach Daniels up there in midair." I was like, "Hard motherfucking damn." I was like, yep, it was fucking dope. It was great.
Nice.
Safe to say you're looking forward to the rumors of D-Lock coming up to the Slaughterhouse, aren't you?
I love D-Lock, and I love Dustin Reagan. And me and D-Lock still talk, believe it or not. We're very, very good friends. And when the rumors of him coming up happened, the first thing that I got on my DM was, "So are we going to see D-Lock and Yankee Part 2? Because me and D-Lock only faced one time on a like dark night match with a bunch of cars around, and you know, it was one of the things that I just literally got off the airport, showed up, and they were like, "All right, we're filming right now," and I'm like, "Okay," like, you know. And I think Tony remembers that, man. It was like a match at nighttime with a bunch of cars, and he was in the middle of the hurricane at the time, Hurricane Matt, I think it was, or some shit like that. And there was like, the hurricane's gonna hit, but we're gonna film your match outside in this windy ass weather with a couple of cars around and in the dark. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And D-Lock, and this is the first time I also met D-Lock because I didn't know D-Lock before this.
Right.
He came to me and said, "You're gonna face this kid that we have. His name is D-Lock. He's a little tank." And I'm like, "Okay." So first of all, like, I'm already ready to go, and D-Lock shows up late. He shows up late. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna change." And he looks at me, and I look at him, and I'm like, "Listen here, kid. We're gonna take it slow. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." He's like, "No, listen." He's like, "No, that's what we're gonna do." And I'm like, "Tell me what the fuck do you want to do?" And he tells me what he wants to do, and I'm like, "Listen, we do that if I do this." And he's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "All right, fucking put a match. And it was a good match. And since then, we've been fucking. By the way, I love your name, Nevon. Pay me, please.
Right?
Oh yeah, I'm coming up with a new one each review.
Yeah, last time he was I'm a doc.
But yeah, D-Lock, the rumors of D-Lock coming over here is great, and I would love to see it, and I would love to be a part of it. Who knows? Maybe you get Yankee versus D-Lock.
Well, speaking of something you brought up earlier, the UWE, how do you feel about at least their head guy? How do you feel about Everett Creed and what he's going to be doing at Fight for Freedom 2 and his emergence back in the NUW
Everett Creed
world?
was a guy that I brought to the NUW. Everett Creed is one of my dearest friends. Me and him are really, really good friends, and I know that wherever he sets his mind to, he's going to be successful at it. This is a guy that took a character like Lips and made it, a character, made it his own person. Because anybody could make a fucking character, okay? Anybody could say, oh, this is a new character and this is my original character, but everybody knows deep inside this character is a certain person. Lips is a character that lives by his own. Like he's literally another person. And when you see Everett Creed put on the Lips, as soon as I seen this man backstage getting dressed, and as soon as he starts putting on his tights and his clothes, he completely changes his character to a point that you can't refer to him as Everett. You have to refer to him as Lips, because he won't talk to you as Everett. He won't say shit as Everett. He will talk to you like Lips. He will act like Lips. He will try to kiss you. He will try to hug you. He takes a whole form he takes this character to a massive extreme fucking. He takes it to heart. This is his thing, and I'm proud of him. And I'm can't wait. I think he's going to represent whatever he's going to be doing. He's going to represent it with respect, and he's going to do good.
I wouldn't expect anything different from him, honestly.
No.
All that's coming to mind right now after you bring up Lips is when you were in the crowd during Lips versus Big Time Mike. I'm not gay, but you kissed him. I'm flamboyant.
So there's also a lot of things that's been on the work. They were on the talks. Fortunately, I don't think they're happening anymore. But there was also we were supposed to be a rivalry between Lips and the Yankee TDM. And the rivalry, I don't think it ever took off, but it was supposed to happen, and it was going to be something. It was going to be something crazy, man.
I'm sure that would be.
Yeah, I mean, it was. There was going to be a World Heavyweight Championship involved. There was a lot of talk that was going to happen with this, and there was so many skits that we were supposed to film that we never got the chance to film. And I fucking wish that we would have gone back and filmed everything, because the way the story came up and their writing on the story was so fucking good that, it was fuck, man. If I could go back, man, on time, I'll fucking film that bitch quick.
I said we did see you and Lips 1-on-1 at a lockdown. I remember that match.
Yeah, that was weird, man. And I'm telling you, and the reason it was weird is because when Everett Creed decides to put that shit on, he completely changes from Everett Creed, my friend, my good old buddy, to fucking sex dungeon. All right.
I guess I live the character, in other words.
Yeah, he's a whole nother person, dude. I'm telling you, he's a whole nother person.
Lucius comes out and completely different.
Lucius, what was his full name?
Isaac Preston Smith.
Yeah, Lucius Isaac Preston Smith. You know who gave him that name?
Who?
Cameron Jackson.
Yes.
Cameron Jackson gave him that name.
Cam's a genius.
Yes.
Cam is a really smart dude. It's crazy because when me and Cam will sit down to brainstorm, it's not even brainstorming. It's like us saying this is going to happen, and that's it. Because it's like an instant thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's great, man. I can't wait to go down south either. I gotta go visit those guys. They've been hitting me up for ever now, telling me to go down there.
Well, damn, one of the last things I have to bring up, since we pretty much covered everything since you've hopped in here, Yankee, I want to know what was going through your mind. Like, what do you feel about your return at the Backyard Rumble 3? What was going through your head?
A lot of things were going through my head that day. The first thing was how is so the way that it was set up. You guys might not believe me on this, but it was literally a surprise. My name was not brought up into the conversation. My name was not, Yankee was not supposed to be there. Nobody knew. Only 4 people knew, and that was me, Navon, Bishside, and who else was it? And I think Felix. And nobody else knew. It was only us 4, and we pretty much said, we're not going to tell anybody. We're going to bring you in. We're going to tell you what entrances are happening, and we're going to bring you in, and we're going to bring you through the back. So if you ever seen the Slaughterhouse, there's always like this one car parked next to the garage. So I sneaked behind that car, went to the back with like 3 to 4 entrances before me, and I got changed. The only people that knew that I got there were the people that were in the back getting ready to go in there. And when they saw me, they literally did this. They looked at me, they looked back and fucking double-taked and said, holy fuck, TDM is here. That's literally what happened. And I look at them and I said, shh, don't say a fucking word. Go out there, do your work, and then I'll do my thing. And I see these guys and they're like, all right, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. Right? You know, they're like happy that I was there. Like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. And then, you know, the guy before me that came out was like, wow, man, like, I can't believe you're here. And I'm like, bro, let me be. I gotta get in my zone. I only have 3 entrances before me and I have to get in my zone. So I'm like, I'm getting dressed and I'm getting dressed in a rush. Of course, I'm trying to rush. And I get dressed and I hear, I don't know who it was, but I hear somebody goes, TDM, you're next. You're next. And I'm like, all right, bet. So, you know, of course, I grab my bat, like always, because, you know, that's a trademark. Grab my bat. I wet my hair, you know, real quick. And I'm still putting my fucking shit on. And I go through the curtain. And I was thinking, these people are not going to remember me. They're not going to know who the fuck I am. And then my music hit. And everybody's like, I hear them. I'm in the back and I hear them. What? What? What the fuck? What? Like, they're like so surprised that I was there, you know? And then make it mata, and then I fucking show up on the picture. And they're like, holy fuck. Like, I'm looking at the crowd and I see people like pulling their hair, like going, ah, man, what? That's crazy. And literally, as I'm going out, at this point, I'm like, there's people like me too fucking much. So I'm going to start cursing them out. Like, instantly, I turn into the jerk, and I'm like, you fucking hicks, you mother. Like, instantly, bro. And it was just a good way to be able to come back into the picture, you know, to be able to see it. Kind of make me feel like even in the Royal Rumble when Edge came back, you know? Kind of like that. It was one of those moments that it was surreal. Like, nobody really expected me to come back. And the way I did it, it was perfect. I wouldn't even change it. And the thing is, when I came back, I made everybody look good on that Rumble. I literally came back and I literally was like, listen, I want you to do this to me. And they were like, what? And I'm like, you do this to me. I didn't even care who it was. I was like, who are you and where are you from? Okay, good. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. And you're going to do all this shit to me. Okay? Okay, cool. You know why? Because I was the only guy in the ring that knew how to take all this stuff. You know? And a lot of those guys, they were new. They were like fresh, you know? So they didn't know like how to take a Canadian destroyer. They didn't know how to even launch themselves to get to take one. So I was like, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And then we're chilling. And then everybody goes over and I'm over here like, good. I put you guys over. I do my thing and then get the fuck out. And that's exactly what happened. Put everybody over, did my thing, and left. But it was a fun experience to be able to do it the way I did it.
I think that was the perfect time to come back. Everybody just thought, as I said, you went under the radar. It was never anything like nobody announced you for anything. Nobody said Yankee left NUW. Nobody said
there was
Yankee
no
quit.
There was no promotion about it. There was no like, oh,
he just showed up.
Yeah, there was no Yankee might come back. There was no like saying, oh, we have an interview with him, or there was none of that stuff, and that's fucking perfect because I wanted it to be like that. So because I wanted that reaction, I wanted to see the real reaction of people,
Nice.
Just see Yankee go, you fucking hicks.
that became my word, man. I don't know if you know how that started, but that started in the first match that I wrestled D-Lock. Because I just met the fucking kid, and he's like very redneck, man. And he's like, and I'm like, what can I say? What can I say? And we're in North Carolina, and we're fucking beating the shit out of each other, me and D-Lock. And I turn around to the crowd, and I go, you bunch of fucking hicks. And they all froze. They all like, mother, what? Like you're going to come down south and tell me that shit to my face? Like that. And I remember the Chico. I looked at the Chico because he was in the crowd. And I looked at the Chico because we travel together, of course. I look at the Chico, and he goes, and he turns to Rick and goes, I don't think he was supposed to say that. After that, the word fucking stayed, man. The word stayed. The saying, I guess the quote stayed.
Yeah, North Carolina loved you.
Yeah.
They loved you a lot.
They really did. Now, it's funny because they actually fucking love me. Like, they love me a lot, bro.
You fucking trailer trash hicks.
Yeah, you fucking head, you inbred motherfuckers. They love me. I just literally want to, one time I'm going to say, you fucking, and I'm just going to put the mic up and see if the crowd says it. And if they say it, that means that he stuck forever.
There you go. They'll piggyback off of that return. After getting stripped of the hardcore title, how did it feel to show up at the end of Halloween Hell and get a little bit of a payback, I guess you could say, on the dark side, get a little piece of the dark side?
So I did not know that I was stripped off the title, and this is breaking the fourth wall. This is really what happened. I did not know that I was stripped off the title because the plan was that I was going to come back and I was going to defend it, and I was going to eventually drop it to whoever I saw fit. Because I put so much work on that, title, I wanted to drop it to whoever I saw fit. What ended up happening was that I was supposed to be the first person to ever hold the world heavyweight and the hardcore title. I was supposed to be the multiple belt holder, Yankee 2 belts at the time. And the story kind of took a turn because creative was passed down from Nevada McDonald's to other people, which I'm not going to mention. But the whole story happened, and they pretty much vacated the title. One day I'm at home, and I'm like, hey, are you guys filming anything? Because I'm trying to film all the stuff that I have to film. It was like, well, can you, any way possible you could drop off the title? And I was like, why? Why am I going to drop off my fucking title? And they were like, well, we ended up vacating the hardcore. I'm like, so you're vacating the hardcore, but you didn't tell the champion that you're vacating the hardcore champion. Okay, see how this is going to go. So that just infuriated me. So, and then they were like, a lot of people hit me up, and they were like, hey, so this is what happened. And I was like, okay, perfect. So we got two choices. Either I could work an angle, or I could work an angle and beat the fuck out of him. So I did both. A little bit of beat the fuck out of him more than working an angle, because I threw him I grabbed him and I shoved him to a door, and there was a rusty nail peeking out that went through his stomach. And yeah, like if you look at the video again, I grabbed him, I shoved him, and he goes, oh fuck. And there was a rusty nail. He had to go get a technic shot. Like, I mean, it was one of those things that, like, it is what the fuck it is. Like, it happened. Like, shit happened. He deserved it. Whatever. But it was a little bit of both, you know. But it felt great to come back and be able to do what I had to do. And I'm pretty much I keep it professional and I try to do my job. And if that's what it called for me to be in there, it is what it is.
It's kind of you picked up where you left off, kind of in the main event area or scene, if you will. Pretty much kicking off with returning against the dark side.
Yeah, and again, you know, creative is one of the things that even in BYW there is creative, and you can't get away from it. It just happens. Wrestling will never be wrestling without having a creative team and without having a production team in a way, in a say. So that's how creative wanted it, and that's how I made it happen. I was I against it? No, I wanted it to happen because I want this moment to square up whatever beef we have. So I wanted it to happen. So when the opportunity came, I said, we're going to fucking do it. It is what it is. People get mad. I don't give a fuck about people. It is what it is.
Fair enough.
Man, he bled all over your shoes, man. That was some bullshit.
He fucking did. I did. You fucking, yo, man. It was good, though. You know what? It was great that the first picture that they saw was the bat. Because I think pretty much instantly people knew who he was. I have some people that first was like, oh, I didn't know who he was. But I'm like, come on, man. Like, you know when you see the Jordans, you know when you see the fucking bat, like, yep. You know who he was. Like, instantly, I'm pretty sure, Tony, when you saw the shoes and the bat, you was like, that's got to be one man.
Pretty much.
You knew exactly what it was. And, like, I want to know, what was your reaction when you saw that?
My reaction to it? Well, I was happy to finally see you back on the screen besides from Backyard Rumble. But a little shocked in seeing the attack, but not so much with the whole storyline of he stripped you of the title, and we've seen social media wise things that were going down between the two of you from that. So shocked. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. How do you feel when you saw me for the first time on the screen?
Well, for the Halloween Hell UpShot, you just see Darkseid just crawling away after getting his ass beat by Navon and Pitbull and all that. His blood got signed into a contract that signed over ownership of NUW. And I didn't even see the bat at first. I just see this man crawling up, and the way you just see the camera turn down and you turn up and you just lift that bat up, and I'm like, oh shit, he done. He is done.
Oh yeah, no, and it was a very special moment in a way, because even though I hate this man, that moment meant magic to the fans. That moment meant like closure in a way, because the fans know what me and this fucking man has been against. Like, the fans know, so be able to see us both in the same screen and be able to like say, oh fuck, this is actually gonna happen. Finally, after all these fucking years, we're gonna have what we want, and we're gonna settle the beef that they had, because I've been having beef with them for years. And even in the VTW reunion Rumble, when the whole shit went down with me and him outside of the the wrestling thing, we were in the hotel and shit went down between me and him. I remember going down to the arena, the VTW arena, and they were like, bro, like, can you please keep it professional? Can you please, make sure that, and I'm a very professional guy, very professional. I'm like, wrestling is wrestling and personal life is personal life. And I kept it professional. We were in the same Rumble. We kept it professional. We worked together, kept it professional. But there was there was like this much fucking, like, I was like about to punch his motherfucking mouth, like in the ring. And it was not going to be a work, brother. It was going to be a fucking shoot. But I'm happy that it happened. It's going to happen. It's going to be great. I'm going to win, regardless. I'm telling you right now. Spoiler alert, I'm going to fucking win.
Okay, Mr. Heyman.
All right. Don't say I didn't tell you. Place your bet. Don't say I didn't tell you. I'm going to beat the shit out of him. I'm going to win.
All
All
right.
you had to hear from Yankees' mouth at that point, you fucking bitch. And Darkseid just, well,
It was over.
yeah.
Said the deal. And Navon gave me the match, so Navon gave me the match. At this point, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what Navon wants to do. You know, I don't care what Navon is planning. He gave me the fucking match, and that's all I wanted, and that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna beat the living shit out of the Darkseid.
I think that's
Fight for
what.
Freedom 2. That's one of the biggest matches on the fucking show. It's one to see from what I've heard.
I hope they treat it like one.
Oh, shit.
Treat it like
Shots fired.
Chop, chop, bang, bang, bro. I hope they treat it. You cannot. Come on, bro. Let's be honest here, man. If you are a fucking booker, and you are a producer, and you are a creative mind, you know that TDM versus a Darkseid will draw anybody. And if you want people to stay watching your show, you got to place this at least co-main event.
At least if I was booking this card, no offense to Navon and Chris there, but I would be putting this match on last. Plain and simple.
Well, yeah, you know, it's a high match. And the reason it's a very high match is because the match has been asked for. Like, this match has been asked for years. People wanted to see it. People want to see me and the Darkseid meet in one ring. People wanted it. People want a hardcore match with it. So, like, people want to see it. Give it to them. And if you're going to give it to them, you got to give it to them in style. You know what I mean? They got to be able to remember this.
Yeah, people wanted to see it based off of both of your styles already, and then they figure out why you guys don't like each other. Well, shit. If that's not something to watch, I don't know what is.
Oh, it's gonna be something, man. It's gonna be something really good. I can't wait. Spoiler: I'm gonna win.
That's the main thing to take out of it.
I'm gonna win.
Any last things you want to say to Darkseid, or if and when he watches this?
Darkseid, bring your A game. And one more thing, go fuck yourself, kid.
Well, with that, you got anything else you want to add in, Mr. Awesome?
I got none. How can you follow that?
You can't.
And remember, that shirt will come out. Get fucked, kid. That shirt will come out. I'm telling you, I'll make a fucking shirt out of it. I'm telling you.
I believe it.
Oh, you know it. You know it, bro. You know it, bro.
People are going to be rocking them with their Murder Club t-shirts that they still have. The retro one and the new one.
Yeah. You know, hey, how long you been? So, Mr. Awesome, how long have you been, into the Murder Club? Because not a lot of people know that there's two shirts. You know, people see the shirts, but they don't think there's a retro and a new.
Well, the retro one was the one with the white and the grayish one, like the grayish font.
Yeah. There was the splatter. The blood splatter was gray.
Yeah, those were the really original ones.
Yeah, those are red. Yeah. And what else is those? You remember the mask?
Yeah, the face mask with the skulls on them.
With the skulls on them. That was retro. Yeah, that was fucking
cool. I have mine that you sent me still.
Yes, I actually have I sent Tony a mask, and I think I signed it for you, right? I sent you a letter or something.
And then there was the skull.
The mask that I sent Tony was actually a worn mask by me.
Yep. And I do have a Murder Club shirt as well.
Yes. Yeah. Do you have the retro, or do you have the new one? Like the second version of it?
I think it's the second version.
Second version? Oh, with the skull, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second version. No, wait. How many versions are that? Wait.
It's like 3 or 4, I think. At least out of the original group ones, because remember Cam made his own with the 16 and the camos and all that.
Yeah, so I remember. No, it's crazy. It's crazy that you fucking.
Everybody had their own version at one point too. There's the Dirty Club. There was the Outlaws.
Hey, oh my God, bro, that's insane, bro. You're really good at this, man. So, so we had the original Retro. We had, and then after that, we had the Murder Club. Second version, which it was like I think it had like the face, and then the Murder Club was like the eyes.
Yeah,
I think we had another one too, like a third, and then everybody had their own.
had their own spin-off of it.
Spin-off of the Murder Club. We have the Dirty Club for Dirty the Chico. We have the Casey Jane one. That's the red. So there you go. So the red one, the red logo Murder Club one was a metallic red, and that logo is awesome. That logo was made by J Joker Designs, and I love that logo. That logo is great. Cameron came on with his own style because when Cameron joined the Murder Club, he wanted to put his own spin on it. And he asked me, and I was like, go for it, dude.
All you gotta do is remember that one promo. Who's his tag partner? And then he just stands up.
Yes, that promo was great. He said, who am I gonna call? Well, I know I know exactly who to call. Then he turned around and his shirt says, "We ride with Die MC." And people fucking went nuts, bro.
And then, like, the next promo, like, the next part of it, he turns around and it has 16 in the front.
I'm telling you, he could work somebody, man. He's great. That's crazy how much you know about it, man. It's phenomenal, bro.
Hell yeah. Murder Club was the thing at that point, for damn sure.
Yeah. Now
everybody was in it.
Now it's gonna be I mean, you already peeped the shit. That's all I can show you.
The Boys.
Murder Club presents The Boys. And The Boys is a small group of Murder Club members and newcomers. So definitely gotta see it if we gotta look at it.
It's Murder Club Hollywood.
No, actually, no. It's so a lot of people see when we came up with the idea, people thought that it was going to be like that, but it's completely different. It's going to be because it's such a fresh breed of people. All the people that are in this club, in this part, like pretty much in this offspring of the MC, are trained. We all been in school. We all been to wrestling. School wrestling academies, and it's more like it's going to be more like an indie work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think maybe 2 of us in the group are not trained like into a school, but the rest are.
Nice.
Well, the Murder Club is still a thing.
Yeah,
it's resurfaced. UWF, it's coming.
It's all about the
boys.
It's
coming to take over.
Yeah, it. Amazing.
You're rocking the same intro, huh?
Damn, Tony playing us out.
He's trying to.
Well, getting it set up anyway. Trying to. 3.5 hours long show.
Yeah, we were only reviewing episode 2, and then Yankees shows up.
That's what happens. Yep. By the way, if you ever talk shit about me, I will show up.
Hey man, I wasn't talking shit.
You ever hear the saying that if you knock on the devil's door, he'll answer? That's like me. You can't knock on my door, bro. I'll show up. And it's weird because Tony will tell you, like, I'll show up. You can be talking about me, and I just fucking show up. Yep. It always happens. It always will happen. That's just how it works.
Seems like every time.
Every time, bro. Every time.
Hey, it only happens on Tiger Talks Wrestling. Just ask D'Lo Smith how Devon is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I definitely love coming over here and chilling with Tony. I haven't seen him so long. I haven't talked to him for so long, but you know, I've been busy. But I remember when he was starting this, man. I remember, and the man never gave up, man. He kept on doing it. He kept on doing it. Kept on doing it. He got pretty big, you know, to his viewers, and he's one of the guys that is putting BYW on the map like that. So,
Thanks. I got nothing but you guys to thank for it. So, especially the guys at NUW.
Hey man, I didn't do anything. I just wanted Navon to pay me.
listen,
Motherfucker ain't paying me yet.
listen,
He gonna learn today.
listen here, boy. Listen here. Has it? You ever hit you with that line? Listen here. All right.
Now you listen here, motherfucker.
Yeah. If he ever tells you listen here, that means you ain't getting no fucking pay. All right. He'd be like, hey, listen here for 1 second. You ain't getting shit. If he starts the conversation with listen here, if he starts the conversation with look here, you ain't getting a goddamn fucking dime from this man.
Look here, player. This ain't how it's gonna work.
Look here, man. That's how he works. That's how he is. All right, guys. Well, sign us off, man.
Well, we signing off now?
Sign us off, brother. Send us home. Let's take it home.
Okay. Well, then, I'll let you know what we were doing here.
Uh-oh. Wait. Hold up. We got somebody in the chat.
Who's that?
Alan Reed.
Yes. Alan Reed said, peek the shirt.
Peek the shirt.
Alan Reed knows what's up.
And he does.
Is that better for you, Alan? You like that shit, fam? There you go.
Very nice. So, we'll try this again, see if they pop up anything more, but...
Should I show the rest of the shirt and say, fuck it?
He said it in bold letters afterwards. All caps. Yeah, fam.
Should I show the rest of the shirt and say, fuck it? Because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to guess anything. Tony got hard. He got hard as fuck, bro.
That's tough.
That's not tough, bro. That's what happens when you got MC around. All right, if he gives me the go, I'll give you the whole shirt right before we sign off.
Pretty soon we gonna have the whole murder club in this fucking stream. We keep it up.
I mean, I could get you some people in there.
Yankee's gonna call up the ninjas.
Yankees going over, brother.
Send me that link, bro. I'll forward. You know what?
Going over, brother.
You know
I'm
what?
in here.
Going over, brother. I'm going to. Can we share this link? Can I share it? Can I share the link? I'm going to try to share this link, actually.
Oh, dear God. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yankee just took over. The Murder Club presents
Over.
NUW Slaughterhouse review.
MC for life.
We ride, we die, baby.
Well, damn, I think I know what my name is going to be next stream. It's got to be something Murder Club, right?
Yeah.
MC for life.
MC for life, baby. We ride, we die.
That's what Alan put in the chat. MC for life. He knows what's up.
He knows what it is, bro.
Ba-ding.
So if you're trying to play us out, I ain't tripping.
Don't play us out yet.
Yankee's like, I'm inviting a whole bunch of people right now. All of a sudden, you just hear Badass start playing. Rick Rios is in the house.
I'm a badass. I love that theme song. I remember going down to okay. Wow.
Ha!
Oh God,
I'm
Alan
out
Reed.
here, brother.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, brother?
I just got home, dog, and I just see this fucking live stream on, so I was like, I gotta hop in.
You saw this handsome motherfucker. You was like, yo,
Yeah.
he's going
And
over.
I see Dad on here, so your son had to be on this bitch.
Where's Reed? Where's your bro?
He's playing Mortal Kombat X.
Tell him to say fuck that and tell him to jump in this chat right now.
You know, want me to go with his faggot ass right now?
You got it.
All right. Sorry for the noise, by the way. It's my fat ass going down the stairs.
Yankees about to bring in the whole Murder Club to make predictions on what's going to happen. Yankee versus the Dark Side.
Hold on. Well, we got another member of the Murder Club. Well, he's playing actually Chronicles now. Johnny on
Yeah, Johnny.
Good, bro.
Johnny, what's good, baby? Is that Joey in the
What's
back? Joey, I love you, dog.
Yeah.
What up, guy?
What's going on, my guy?
We got all the Reed brothers here.
Yeah, what's up with it? We need fucking Mike in here, man.
We just here now.
Oh shit! What?
Yo, hold on.
I'm on my iPhone, by the way, so this works on iPhone.
That's good to know.
Oh,
I haven't even tried it like that.
So
now we all know we can do this on the phones.
No. They don't know. They don't know. They only know what they can see. They don't know anything else.
What do you mean they don't know?
They only know this. Like that's it. They don't know what's underneath this.
Oh, yes, that's right. They don't know what's underneath.
No.
I guess they have to wait to find out.
That's it. That's all they know. I mean, they could put pieces together. They could put me, you, Johnny, and Perillo together. But they don't know. They don't know the rest.
That's all I'm going to say.
Wait, I want to literally call Mike Perillo right now and have him on the fucking. Hold on. Mikey. Yo, Mikey. So I'm with Tiger Talk right now. You on speaker, man. What's up?
What's up, dude?
Try calling me, so I have it,
right now. Hold on. There's Mikey. Mikey's right here. Mikey.
There he is.
So apparently we're taking over. We're taking over.
Hold on, I can't hear now.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, I'm not ready for this.
You look beautiful.
I know.
Why can you come in here? That's what I want to know.
I'm trying to figure that out.
Do you have a laptop? Do you own a laptop? Do you have a computer in your house?
I'm a cybersecurity major. Yeah, I have a laptop. I have a fucking HP Envy 720.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but put Google Chrome in there and click on the link.
It's an 8th gen core processor, so the CPU is pretty brolic.
No, it sounds brolic, bro. It sounds brolic. I ain't even gonna lie, I ain't even gonna front.
It's about as brolic as my fucking.
It's about as brolic as NUW's booking.
My PP.
There we go.
You need to fucking sign this. You need to go and come in here because I'm about to reveal the shirt to the world.
Hold on.
Alan's still a little tight because him right there.
Wait, what happened?
I figure this out, then I'll put on my shirt. Reveal it to you, boomer. I'll shoot on Jerry.
I mean, let's shoot, brother. We're gonna shoot.
It's a shoot.
Shoot on top of a shoot.
It's not a work. Yo, Mike Perillo, put your face on the camera. I'm gonna click on the sheet.
I don't want you to put the music.
It's too late, man. Listen, you right now.
Am I in the studio?
You're gonna be with us once you sign in.
Okay. Display name.
Tony's like, shit, I was trying to redo the fucking plays and that nigga's over here. Hey,
All right.
what you can, baby.
There you go.
Uh-oh. Yo, Alan, so let's talk about the boys real quick, man. What do you think about that? What do you think about the boys?
What I think about the boys?
Yeah.
It's fucking dope. Yeah, you know, it's all the boys, all our friends. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good ass group, bro. I'm telling you.
That's group.
There's two people that I don't think they're gonna think they are, but well, Tony, I think Tony might know because Tony made a comment earlier. And he probably doesn't remember what he said, but he said that there's one guy that shares the same mentality as I do. Pretty much that's what he said.
One guy that shares the
Isn't that what you said? You said that there's one guy in NUW right now that shares the same mentality as I do.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
When you say the guy wants the same thing that I did with the hardcore title, right?
Oh, yes, yep. I got you.
All right. You probably got that one figured out.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Perillo?
He made it in, and now he's
And
got it all.
then he went down and said device is not connected. Now he's gone again. Must have been having some technical issues.
Yo, the Von fleece, baby. I don't think the Von's gonna pay you, dog.
Oh, I know. It's been going great, as you can tell. I'd still have to petition.
He's probably watching this right now.
Mikey.
My webcam's not working.
Well, that sucks.
Fucking webcam, man.
It won't let me turn it on. Like I have one. It won't let me turn it on.
Do you accept the terms of the webcam contract?
There's something like that.
Well, you have to accept the terms. You have to say, I have this website to use my camera and my microphone.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, what's up? Ready? Oh yeah.
Maggie, so Tony kind of put together the boys.
What's up?
Tony put together the boys, man.
How did he put it together?
He told me the people. He told me you, me, Johnny Ree, and Alan.
Okay.
And then some more.
He told me two more. He said the other two. He guessed the mystery.
No, he only guessed one, and that's because the guy has the same thing in common with me.
And who would that be? Who did you guess?
Mr. New York champion himself, Brandon Castelli.
Oh, well, that's just because, as everybody knows, Brandon Castelli and I are the team known as the Sexy Bitches. So it only makes sense.
Only makes sense.
Only makes sense. I wish I could figure out how this webcam works, but I guess we're gonna have to figure that out.
He just fucking.
He was flexing that new computer though.
He really, he was flexing the computer very fucking hard, but he doesn't know how to figure out the fucking camera work. And welcome to the boys, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we deal with every day. It's gonna be a group of real life friends living it up. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could compare it. I mean, if you could really compare it, you could compare it to like the elite type thing, but it's just us having fun and being friends and us being on the road. So it's going to be great.
Flexing my computer because I use this computer a lot for coding and stuff, but I think I might have put a setting in my McAfee antivirus software to kill the webcam completely because I don't really need it, and now I can't remember why or how to reverse what I did.
I love how you was flexing about that computer, and you can't even fucking turn on the webcam.
This is a very good computer. I just don't remember how I like completely killed the webcam.
It's so good that he blocked the whole fucking camera.
It literally gives you a settings bar for your cam and your mic, right?
Not in this. No.
Mikey, should I show the shirt? Should I show the rest of the shirt?
Show the shirt. The shirt that was designed by Johnny Reed himself. The GOAT. The legend.
So,
the boys.
Right here. Should I just leave it right here?
Right there. Let them all see.
Everything?
Let them see it. All of it. No. Just leave it like that. You're right. You're right. There's a couple of Easter eggs on that shirt that we.
I think I could.
It is no secret that Brandon Castelli is aligned with the boys, but there is one more guy that I would like to.
You will never guess it.
You will never guess in 1,000 years who the final member of the boys is and will be. And when he is revealed, it's gonna be some shit, man. It's gonna be some shit.
I will cover it. I will cover it. I will cover it.
No, because Tiger is gonna figure it out, and this whole thing's just gonna like.
No. I will cover the lettering, so he doesn't see who it is. So he could see the other people, but he can't see that one person.
The person.
All right.
I mean, I'm looking at my shirt right now. It's over next to my stuff.
Yeah, I got it pretty covered. Should I use a duct tape? Should I duct tape this bitch?
I don't think you should.
No, I'm not going to. I'm gonna fuck up the lettering. I'm just gonna.
Exactly.
Here you go. I'm just gonna show you, but I'm gonna cover.
I figured it out.
I'm gonna cover those letters.
You got BC, Brandon Castelli, AR-15, Alan Reed, MP, the master person known as Mike Perillo. Great. JR, Jim Ross, obviously. Johnny, the Shotgun Kid, Johnny Reed, and TDM, the Shockmaster. Duh. AKA Yankee the Difference Maker.
AKA Mr. NUW.
AKA Mr. Steal Your Girl.
AKA fuck the coronavirus.
Fuck the coronavirus. The coronavirus has truly took a major shoot on the wrestling world right now and just life in general. I was booked on a show for the 21st of March that was canceled due to the coronavirus. I was not scheduled to work, however. I was scheduled to do color commentary. But now I don't think I'm ever going to – that basically, due to the coronavirus, my trainer, Jerry Idle, kind of just turned heel on me. The best way to describe it.
Yeah, fuck you, Jerry.
Yeah, which I still don't I still can't wrap my head around exactly why he bugged out on me so hard. Like, it was not my fault at all.
Fuck you, Jerry. Can we all say fuck you, Jerry, at the same time?
If you guys want to go ahead and say that, I'm not gonna bury the guy. But basically, what had happened was, I go to the University at Albany, and the college is being shut down due to the outbreak of the coronavirus. And I basically XWA, not XWA in Rhode Island, not the home of the kingdom, a different XWA. Yeah, I know, it's fun explaining that. It was where I was training since September. I was supposed to have my first match on the Independence next month or 2 months from now or whatever.
Fuck you, Jerry.
Yeah. So, basically I told him I had to leave, and he didn't really seem to care that I had to leave. He was more worried about, like, oh, you're going to pay me for the rest of what you owe me? And I was like, dude, I don't think I'm coming back for a while, so I'll let you know. And then he basically just told me never to come back again. So, yeah, after all that, and pretty upset about it. So, yep.
You're awesome. Say it. Say it with me. Fuck you, Jerry.
Fuck you, Jerry. Fuck your plane. Fuck your kids. And fuck your wife.
Fucked up. Oh,
that's fucked up.
Fuck your job.
Okay.
he's like, that's fucked up, brother.
Fucked up, dude.
That's fucked, dude. I can't believe you've said
That's fucked big time, brother.
Hey, Mr. I know Jerry. Okay, well, you have to go so fucking hard on him, dude. Like I only tell you to say fuck you, Jerry. I say
Like once.
why you bring your whole fucking family in here, dude? God damn.
Fucked up.
Fuck.
Also, if anybody out here hasn't followed my TikTok yet, just follow it.
This guy's trying to steal my clout.
I am going to steal your clout because I'm young and I'm prettier than you.
Oh yeah, can you do this? I fucking doubt it.
You stick a Nerf gun bullet to my forehead? No, I can't.
Well, I could.
I could stick one to my fucking. I don't know. My ass.
You want to see it?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't fucking think so. Did you took Felix home today?
I did drop him off.
Nice. He was he still hungry after the?
No. He asked me if I could take him to fucking St. Patrick's, the church, to ask if we can do a show there. And I was like, I would have, but I had to fucking I had to do my online class.
Yeah. He told me about if I had to do that. I forgot.
And you forgot.
Did you know that this guy ate a Jamaican beef patty inside of bread?
Like slices?
Like a piece of fucking cocoa bread, like bread. Like
Ew.
bread. And he put the fucking Jamaican beef patty with cheese inside of the bread. Like that's not normal.
No.
Felix is not a normal man.
What are we even taught? What is the premise? Why am I on here again? Was there like a specific reason?
Oh yeah, we're talking about the boys, man.
Is this like being live? Is this like going on Tiger's channel or like?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we should probably like not get sidetracked.
Sidetracked. We were just reviewing Slaughterhouse from last night.
Oh god, that Slaughterhouse episode.
That was sick, bro.
Disclaimer. I botched twice on the same move. I don't know what the hell happened. I just kept turning the opposite direction for some reason.
So much for
Oh,
work.
I remember because Everett Creed
actually took it the right way.
No, it wasn't his fault. Him and I think we clunked heads or some shit, and I was very dizzy during the whole match, and didn't really feel good the whole day. I think he elbowed me by accident. He shot on me, brother.
Fucked up. Fuck you, Jerry.
Fucking Everett Creed. What a cool guy. What a cool name.
What a fucking cool game.
But yeah, The Boys is basically it is a culmination of me and my boys, basically. This is different. I don't want it to be called the Murder Club. I feel like, I mean, it is the Murder Club. You know, it's with the maestro, of course, the original founder. But The Boys is something a little different. It's a more of a playful, still heel-esque approach. I don't want The Boys to only rely on sneaky, typical heel faction gimmicks as doing run-ins and just beating the crap out of one guy. I also want The Boys to be considered the top talent no matter where we go, if we are on NUW or UWF.
I don't want to get married. So NUW is out of the question.
NUW is out of the question. That's right. I haven't signed. I got a new contract from them, and haven't signed it yet. So I probably won't. Looking to go other places, but yeah.
We gotta speed it up because I'm trying to fuck.
Speed what up?
This interview. Wrap it up, Tony. I'm trying to get it late.
You just threw me into this interview, man. Like, you make me feel bad. I didn't have anything prepared. I don't even have pants on.
You'll be all right. You have pants on?
I don't.
Wow.
I got shorts on.
Sounds nice.
I know. You're lucky this webcam is off.
You're right. I'm so fucking lucky, dude. So lucky.
Yeah, Tony, you were expecting this for your review, weren't you?
Nope.
Too bad, Tony.
Sorry, Tony.
Shit happens.
This is what happens when you hire the boys. We take over.
We got to get a horn. Like, like, we need to get that.
What do you guys think we should do for the any suggestions for the boys as far as merch ideas or just anything? What do you guys got? What do the people want to see when the boys arrive?
I want to see the boys
Yeah,
get real famous on TikTok.
we will.
They need.
You fucking well.
We
You will.
definitely will.
You fucking well. Follow me on TikTok. Yankee TDM.
Follow me on TikTok, Crocker and Beans, soon to be just called Cracker.
Cracker and Beans. So it's got to be Cracker _and_.
And underscore Beans. Yes, I know. I am aware underscores aren't cool anymore.
What are you? 1978? Fuck.
Yeah, I am.
Yankee TDM, bro. All right. We got a couple of followers. I got like 200.
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
Just a couple.
I got 40.
Follow me on TikTok, Tiger.
Yeah, I follow you.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
How many followers do I have?
I'd have to look it up.
Tiger, don't do that. You're just gonna fuel this guy's ego. You do what you want, man. This is your show.
Man, have you seen the latest video with me and Mike Perillo in it?
That
don't think I watched
video, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's better than the entire Slaughterhouse episode. Completely better than last Slaughterhouse episode.
So
Best match of the decade: Pizza Man versus Brandon Castelli. Match of the decade, match of the century, possibly. Other than that, yeah. As far as that Slaughterhouse review, my match, I don't like watching my stuff back for a lot of reasons. I'm very critical of myself, and a lot of the stuff that goes on was filmed a while ago before I started training professionally. It's cringy to watch, from my perspective.
Not no more though. We are the finest talent in the business.
Yeah, we've been tuned in. We've been polished like a nice.
Polished like a goddamn Asian lady on Brandon Castelli's penis.
Oh yeah, you know Castelli likes some Asians.
Castelli loves Asians.
But can you blame him?
Coronavirus what? Hello?
Oh come on, man! No xenophobic slangs on Tiger's show. You want him to get kicked off?
Right,
you want him to get booted off of YouTube and Twitter?
Nah, dude, I'm sorry.
All right.
I love Tiger. Tiger, you want a kiss?
No. I'm good, thanks.
Whatever. Awesome.
You're gonna go all the way to Michigan and give him a kiss?
Yeah. Why not, bro?
How's the coronavirus situation over in Michigan?
He doesn't know. He's Modelo.
Alan Reed wants a new
so.
video soon.
What?
Alan Reed wants the new boys video soon.
The new one?
Yeah, he wants to do a new one soon.
Oh, we will. We're gonna do one tomorrow.
Are you doing one tomorrow? Oh yeah, we are doing one tomorrow.
We are doing one tomorrow. That's if coronavirus doesn't kill us between now and then.
Which most likely to kill us.
Well, Alan is sick, and I just got a new car, and all the boys we ride together because But Alan's not allowed to drive it, man, and neither is Johnny.
Are you guys going to my crib and then we're going together? You got a new car, you said? Oh yeah, you did.
Dude, you came to my house yesterday, and you were with me today. Come on, dude.
Are you driving to my house before we go to Kingston?
I don't even know where the fuck you live.
I'll send you my address.
I mean, possibly. I mean, if it's out of the way, then no. But if it's on the way,
no, you some fucking Platica, bro. We take fucking Newport and then we go up.
All right. I'll hit the deets with you. I did not charge my laptop at all this week, and this bad boy is sitting at 11% right now. So the sauce. Oh, that's dead. Sorry. The one quote founding member of the boys.
I felt
leaving the building.
I felt like nauseous when you said the sauce.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I had pasta for dinner tonight.
That's fucking gross.
Yeah, the sauce is dead. Long live the boys. So yeah. Thank you for having me on in this very impromptu.
I'm trying to bang my wife.
All right, Yankee, have fun banging your wife, Tony. Thank you for having me on. Please don't totally bury me by totally debacling this interview.
Oh, don't worry, we'll bury you.
All right, that's good. You're starting to sound like the dark side and the Von McDonald. I like what I hear.
You're starting to sound like Tom.
Facts. All right, guys, catch you
later.
I'm out of 5,000, guys. I love you guys. Stay doing what y'all doing. Stay beautiful. All right.
Thanks, Nevada. Thanks, Yankee.
What the fuck did you just call me? I'm not fucking you, man. I'll take all this shit back, man. Goddamn fucking Hicks.
Wait, Tony, before you play the theme song, I think it's only appropriate to get at least 10 seconds of this song.
Okay.
Brought to you by the Murder Club and the boys.
Brought to you by the Murder Club.
We'll go for it.
Maybe we just close out on that song. Be appropriate today. So for Nikki and Michael and Alan Reed, Mr. Awesome, thanks for joining in. This has been Slaughterhouse Review episode with a little Murder Club in there as well. And we'll catch you guys in a couple weeks. See ya.
Good fucking bye.